Hey, why spend Christmas Eve waiting for some extra fat white dude to come busting through the ceiling when you could spend Christmas Eve with yours truly, the super villain, Doom? I'll be hosting a whole night of holiday shows on Adult Swim, ho-ho-hoing and things of this nature. We have Grandma coming through on the strip. If she get here in a reasonable hour. We have a couple of scriptures from the good book, I believe. Oh, yeah. I'm your holiday host on Adult Swim, the super villain, Doom. Ho, ho, ho.
All right, there's that. And we are live. So yeah, new setup. And yes, that was MF Doom. That was a old Adult Swim bumper they had back in the day for a Christmas special where MF Doom hosted in 2005 Christmas Eve with Adult Swim. And proceedingly got drunker throughout the night to the point he just passed out on in his chair supposedly, and was just bumpers would just be of him sleeping. Yeah, no. Merry Christmas all. Merry Christmas to anyone that joined on board. I hope everyone's having a good holiday. It's yeah, no, that was Doom. Yeah, hope everyone's having a good holiday. I mean, H2S50, you're the only one here right now at the moment that I can see. But on all three platforms. But hey, yeah, no, Merry Christmas. I am definitely I mean, as you can tell by my music, I was a fan of. I still am a fan of the Peanuts. I mentioned it before on stream. I quite enjoy the Peanuts, so I want to add some Vince Guaraldi, but I want to be one of the songs that isn't typically used by most people, which is "Christmas Is Coming" from that soundtrack. And I don't know, it's very cozy and homely to me, and I'm hoping the stream comes on well. I'm not feeling the best right now. I'm still coming off a high fever. I got sick a couple days ago before Christmas. I was able to work today and yesterday, but I was practically dead physically. So I'm still tired. I'm off energy drinks right now to get myself awake, but yeah, you know, can't complain. But yeah, no, it's no, hey Derek. Merry Christmas, Derek. How are you doing? Yeah, so Derek, as you can see, we do have a new layout here, and I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack sent down my way from a lot of people because, yes, a lot of this was AI generated. Very obviously, of course. Not my avatar, that was by my artist, but the background, the frame, I believe, was too. I know Charlemagne did Serena, doing the Twitch ticker down there, and we got my profile pic there, and then we got this AI ticker on the X one. How could you? How could you? Yeah. No, you didn't go bankrupt for your Twitch stream. As time goes on, I will end up replacing it. And I know it's low resolution. the one with the Twitch ban, which will come back around in a few seconds, but that Twitch ticker for my advertisement is it says in the caption, why should I ever apologize to women for being a misogynist? What woman has ever apologized for turning me into one? And that's what it says in this caption right here, passing by on your stream on the screen right now. That is what it said. So, Jake, I don't really care as much in the regard of its AI. To be fair, we can have fun with shitposts. Yeah, and here's the thing too. As I gradually go along with this, if I do get larger, I will, as I always say with many things, I will, once again, the first thing first is to get an actual VTuber model rig, as opposed to just doing the PNG, but that's further down the line because I'm very, fiscally responsible. But as for a lot of like stream assets, I definitely want to get someone to do some work for me because it's a crummy AI program. Hell, but I did have fun creating it because, yes, I use free assets like the persona caption stuff and all the other stuff here on this Wheel of Fortune free to use asset for Serena to present us as Vanna White. But I think still the funniest bit was on the X sponsorship here, it's JD Vance with Do You Hear the Screams? Hey, Charlemagne. Just give us 1 second. You'll see your girl coming up right on stream. There she is. She'll be coming right on this ticker right about now. And there she goes. So yeah, no, thanks, Charlemagne. Thanks for getting Serena here. There she is on the ticker. She's gonna be here for this looping ticker that we'll have going for a little while because this is what I'll use for any. Yeah, this will be my sponsorship ticker. If I ever do get sponsors, or if I start to sell out and shill, this will be the ticker. And then I hope to, and I'll have dono tickers up top, but that's not important right now. But yeah, no, I'm very happy with the new stream design, and you can see right above here in the corner, top right. I want to let you know I was doing a bit of troll stream in January. Something playing GTA 6, but the game will be Lego City Undercover, Lego GTA. Fuck, I'll just drop it on your stream on. If I have time in January, if it lines with my schedule. But yeah, we can see in the top right here it says peanut gallery for you guys, because you guys will be my little peanut gallery. And then it just says, well, it's covered in the caption. I guess that caption box above my head was a failed attempt, but it did say on the caption box. I'll probably have to edit it up, but it does say innate ramblings of a madman in my caption. Use code TALL so Lolly can eat this Christmas, and the game says fuck Lolly. No. Wait. No. Wait. I know what you're trying to say. You're gonna make me sound like I think that Lolly sucks. No, don't clip that. No, I'm not gonna show Lolly stuff on stream, but I will say, I've probably been the backbone for a good portion of Lolly's gamer subs orders. After I read my copy of Sorry Pup, I'll probably end up buying 5 copies for his family and friends. I think I like it. Well, that's good for you. I'm still waiting for mine to come in the mail because I got the shirt bundle, so I gotta wait for mine to come. I gotta wait for my Rachel shirt to come in. Oh man, what I wouldn't do for a thick, fat, pog, crippled bitch to sit on my face right now. It's not very Christian of me to say that right now. But no, I guess it'll be more like a React stream tonight because I'm actually gonna get a schedule planned up too, for how I want to get these done, because right now the holiday season does throw everything into a tizzy, but I'm thinking about doing 3 streams a week maximum, Saturday night and Sunday night, and then we'll do Wednesday night because I get the day off on Thursday, so I should be able at that point just to have a pretty straightforward stream, and I can probably get some more clips out the way and actual original videos. I keep saying, I keep putting off, I keep, blah, 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 blah. I trust Tom when he says he doesn't have anything too inappropriate for me for 11 and 13, but I just want to give it a quick read over, at least for the 11-year-old. That's a question, because, okay, that's a hard one, Derek, because in my opinion, if it's very bloody, yes, and I'm pretty sure Cyberpop, I'm pretty sure Lolly said there's not going to be, yes, there'll be some fan service, but it won't be nudity, that's the one part. But let me tell you this much, the amount of shit that gets passed through the Scholastic system for graphic novels, in the sense of if it's a certain agenda or has a certain narrative, you shiggy dig what I'm saying, they will push it through. I was exposed to quite a bit of that when I was a teenager and kid. back when I was young, because you know it's pushing an agenda or narrative, but also, maybe don't give it to them. But if they start talking about like novels and series or manga that are very violent or you know a bit more mature, then maybe show them Cyberpop then, right? I'm like, I want a nice lady under my tree, or just a date night with a famous cosplayer like non-Summerjack. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably hear bitching from the mom, so no matter what. Okay. Yeah, I would have said I would have liked a nice woman with my tree, but at this point I'm all burnt out on just dealing with women and dating. I kind of just want to be like, I'll just stay myself. I realize I'm not going to probably ever get married and have kids, so fuck it, I'm just going to be alone. But, also, cosplayer girls, once again, my rule for any type of just online social, like, if I follow anyone socially on, you know, on my Twitter or whatever, or I collab with and quotations with, if you have any spicy links, I will immediately unfollow you because I just don't deal with shit, because I know hoes can be crazy and I don't want to deal with that. I mean, I saw Hellraiser at 10, so yeah, if it's violence, it's one of those, if it's violence or some title, then it's fine. For 13 depends on how close the fan service to the Gunsmith Cats manga. Yeah, you know, that is a good cutting line right there. Then again, I did read Black Lagoon when I was like 13, so I don't think that really matters. Personally, it just depends on the person and how they're growing up. It really depends on the household too. And it's also just, you're an adult, be willing. It's like, be wary that like, hey, I shouldn't give like a kid like a adult graphic novel or anything of the sort. So if they find it naturally, that's like okay, that's their prerogative. But if it's like, you know, I wouldn't feed it to them, right? But yeah, no. Also, that does a little serious Kovac lore. The reason why Roberta was one of my top waifus is because I read Black Lagoon at 13. And that's about I think the age of Garcia, if I remember correctly. And... and you tell me someone my age reading, like when I was as young as I did reading Black Lagoon, you're telling me I wouldn't like Roberta. Like, come the fuck on. Okay. Let's be honest, guys around teens saw some shit when we shouldn't have. Starship Troopers is still my favorite film, and Dizzy is the best girl, yeah. I know she has done lewd stuff, but I recall her being a professional cosplayer. No news, but has done lewd. Okay, well, that's the thing. I don't care if they done lewd cosplay. It's like the moment you see the OF link, the Fansly link, or whatever the other fuck they have going on, or they're just posting tits and ass on main. I don't care which. I'm like, if you're posting the full 9 yards, it's not just like a burlesque pinup. It's like, okay, not gonna deal with you. I just learned it's just probably the best and smartest thing to do, just out of seeing tons of online controversy and just hoes being crazy. I'm like, yeah, it's not wise. Let me actually pull up a video here to just describe how I think of I mean, there's many other ways I describe dealing with hoes and stuff, and but this one I think will best describe it. This describes my opinions on the matter. Right? There we go. This is what I think of. This is what I think of it.
Women are gross.
I agree, Samuel. Bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks.
That's what I think. That's personally what I think.
Oh, there's a rock over here.
No, don't autoplay, whore. Dupe. Yeah. Gmod, yeah, I'm sure you'll find someone serious. I mean, I refuse to throw in the towel myself. Once again, I think, I'm not sure it was Derek or any of you guys, but like, you guys know I'm young. Like, I'm younger than Chibi Doki, and that, if that puts it in any similarity, like, Philly and Chibi Doki are older than me. Fucking, I think Lee is maybe like a year older than me too. So, I know I'm young, but, okay. I don't want to toot my own horn, but like I've dealt with many women swiping on me on dating apps. I've dealt with dates before, and just I've never had a girlfriend, but I've dealt with tons of shitty dating experiences. I'm pretty burnt out on it. It's just, I've seen the 9 yards. I've seen the Eye of Horror. I was flipping bricks for Manza Musa. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm too burnt out on it. It's not like I'm getting, you know, girls throwing themselves at me. It's just like, I just I just want to feel an actual connection, right? Because even the ones I've gone on dates with, it's just like, it only goes to the first date, and I realize, there's no actual, like, there's not even a slight spark that would make a mutual friendship or like a mutual, like, let's talk out of this. Like, if I can't even feel that, it doesn't work, right? I know, Derek, I know dating apps are trash, but I've met IRL, I've met in dating apps, I've met through word of mouth too. It's just, when people do word of mouth with you, the girl isn't what's sold on paper, right? She's more different than she is on paper. Last date I had, she was very cute, but also she was very sheltered and Christian innocent and exploring the world and, oh, I love Christmas and we're going to talk about Christmas this and Christmas that. And I'm like, sister, I need to know more about you. So I realized there are just some people, I'm very jaded, so I understand. I'm like, this isn't going to work because I'm very, very sardonic and jaded to the world that I just don't really, that I feel like I'd only be a detriment to your life in that sense. So it's also, so, you know, it's a mix of, I can't be too much in my own head, but I also can't, you know, just date a girl, like, because like, yes, maybe she would have been, because she, by her own admit, probably what she was, and I'm not going to see her as, she would have been like, yeah, the trad cath girl that we all want to love and we all want to LARP about, and, you know, the innocent, pure Christian girl. I'm like, my brother in Christ. Oh, no, Derek, we're not pookies. No, we're not going to be kissing. Don't give me smoochies. No. But, I was just saying that was just like, people like talk about that, you know, that trad-cath Christian girl, that stuff. It's like, that's great and all. My brother in Christ, if you are exposed and jaded to the world, if you're dealing with a very sheltered person, woman entirely, it's like dating a modern woman in the sense of maturity, but they don't understand the harshness of the world. And do you want to be the one that breaks it to them or tries to, because it'll be a headache? You literally call me Pookie. You weren't there at the club just for the good music? How did I become the first in chat? I don't know. You chat the most, Charlemagne. Like, just in general. Oh, sorry, Derek. Let me actually link you the video to that Gmod video. I just got. I'm reading your older stuff. I zipped by it. Let's go here. Let me pull up the linky poo. Doop-a-doo. I said 5 things. Yeah, I'm sure you did, Pookie. I'm sure you did, Charlemagne. Here we go. Let me go, Derek. Let me send you the Gmod video that you asked for. Poop. There you go. There's a little Gmod video. Yeah, there it is. You notice the breaking more and smaller chat size. You notice the breaking more and smaller chat sizes? YouTube chat ranking is, yeah, weirdly broken. Most obvious way to get it is putting a donor or the, like, yeah, it can also be engagement or just like Charlemagne's being here very frequent, and he's probably like the one that holds it the longest in my streams more than anyone else. So I guess maybe that's why. I can't think of any other reason why, because like it's YouTube. It's fucking YouTube in 2025, going to 2026, right? Right, where it's just like we don't know what the hell's going on anymore. If I just kept playing memes all day, we're not gonna get anywhere. But like, you know, the ones like the you know that one Monsters versus Aliens meme that, like, when there was that the Bob eating it was like the slime guy eating the carrot. It was like someone from the right wing side like made a video. It was like, no one knows what the fuck is going on. It's all I can think about. It's like in YouTube, it's like we don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. It's just oh man. I think boys are meant to be on the newsroom, but yeah, it's YouTube. I'm just, oh my god. I'm gonna say this, and I think chat knows this too, is another bit of lore for me, is like, I've been on YouTube since I've been using YouTube since I was like, what, 5 or 6. And that was like, we're talking about 07, 08 YouTube is when I probably hopped on. It's because my dad wanted me to use the internet safely and learn at a young age. So there was like him monitoring, but it's like I was kind of free reign in some cases to use the internet to understand and study and, you know, basically not be like completely out of the culture zeitgeist. And having seen YouTube, the way it's devolved over the years has just been painful, right? It's just been fucking painful. The whole thing, and yes, it's the whole internet. It's consolidation. It's dead internet there. You name it, but just YouTube being so fragile is why I post on Rumble, Odyssey, Kick. Not saying that they're super better, but the way I see Rumble, Odyssey is the way Lolly or Amalgamite, the VTuber Amalgamite uses it, is where you just use it to basically just archive your stuff. Have like another route where people can watch it. Because like YouTube's new AI bot to hunt down AI channels has like killed off a bunch of like AI music channels, which, yeah, okay, granted, oh, it's AI, but it's like, these are the ones that were funny. They're just funny, but like the ones that, you know, that fucking AI spam the, you know, advertisements with their shitty music, well, those ones are fine to stay, but like I can't listen to Emo Ye, to the emo Kanye West channel anymore, because YouTube fucking deleted the whole channel and strike in tandem with Ye's own company for going after the channel. Because they dared hosted the emo version of NHH, right? And it's like that was a banger. That was a banger of a song. Yeah. Oh, stream's dying. Oh, I guess archive, but I mainly upload them and stream them to all. I try to stay active on there, responding to people. You'd be surprised how many how shocked people are when I respond to their chats during a stream. Yeah, that's also a thing too, is because I'm gonna get. I really want to get into our stream sooner or later. I mean, it's not much of a talk fest here, but I think what I have noticed more, especially with streamers, that some people feel too exhausted to talk to stream, whether they're really small or you get the ones that are. You just see this with a lot of women too, that get in their heads, and unless it's a dono, they will not talk to you, right? They will not talk to chat unless it's a dono. Unless they hear that little ping that somebody threw money at them to send them a chat, that was the only way they'll respond. And people would just sit there and stream to like maybe 2 or 3 people like I'm doing, but they won't even communicate with chat. And the reason why I like doing it, because like I like streaming. I found out I like streaming because I like to improve my ordination skills. I socially in the real world, I stutter. I don't, my physicality, my physique and my stature shouldn't give the illusion that I wouldn't be confident in public, but I'm very nervous in public. So doing streaming is really helping with my speech in general, just my speech, and not really anxiety, but just trying to rework my ordination skills. I like reading chat because I also want to get into reading books on stream, like actual novels on stream. Like, because I should tell you this, I may be an actual mechanic, but like I really love reading literature. I really love literature, and I would love to read some on stream. But the chat program I use, Social Stream Ninja, has all chats in one chain, includes emotes. I still get people shocked their comments pop up. Well, what I use is called Caster Labs Caffeinated. And, well, it doesn't hook up to Rumble or Odyssey yet. It does have Kick. It has a couple of other ones on there. So, oh, you also be a guy with a book and stuff. Like, oh, you know what? I might consider Derek, but I do have some books I want to read. And it's more so not like, oh, I found this cool sci-fi no name. It's like I will start with some larger name books. Like, the one I really want to read on stream is 2 of them. The 2 of them I really want to read on stream, which is going to sound like a chore to read, but it's going to be like one chapter once a week for a stream, and then I'll do some other stuff during the stream. But what I want to read first is The Man Behind the Iron Mask, The Death of a Titan. I'm a no-name? Yeah. No. Don't worry. No, but my name is literally Nemo. You're Captain Nemo. Fuck it, we're gonna read 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's it. That's what we're doing. But no, I want to read The Man Behind the Iron Mask, the Death of a Titan, because I do want to read some classic literature on stream to start off with, and I feel like that would be a good start. But yeah, enough yippee yapping. Let's. It's not Christmas themed, but I do want to watch. And I was saving this. Count Dankula released a video on Memory TV. I know what Derek. I know what Nemo translates to in Latin. I'm very much acutely aware of what Nemo means in Latin. Once again, not only did I read Jules Verne quite a bit as a child, but like I have read and can partially, very little, speak a little bit of Latin. If you just present a sentence in front of me, I can translate it. I shiggy diggy, right? No, like you don't understand. Like I do understand. I may not sound like it, but I'm more learned than I lead on. I am. Words. What do I mean? I'm more learned than I lead on. You'll see that on time to time. I have that skill set that sounds like I'm an English major, like a middling English major, but no, I am I treat you like a chick I take on a date. Allow me to woo you with my Latin understanding from metal music and Assassin's Creed 2. Oh man, I scare the hoes more on a date because I think I end up scaring the hoes more on dates because I honestly just like I want to know what someone likes, and if someone's like, yeah, like I like anime or manga, I'm like, oh yeah, well, which ones do you like? And like, oh, I like, and then it's usually like, you know, Jujutsu Kaisen or like the very basic bitch stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no, I like Hellsing, or I like Battle Angel Yukikaze, or, you know, I like the classics like Captain Harlock, or, you know, Gunsmith Cats. Actually, I don't really bring up Gunsmith Cats. I prefer bringing up like Black Lagoon because that's a bit more modern for people nowadays. But then you get like that side-eyed look of like, oh, he like actually likes it. It's like, yes, I actually read manga. I don't just watch anime. Like I actually read fucking manga. I like Goblin Slayer. This reply has one of two effects on Wonder Woman. Oh yeah, no doubt. And there's one, she's abhorred by it, but secretly she's got her dark romance novels, or two, she wants to be one of the girls getting raped by the goblin. It's simple, right? Remember, Derek, you were in the Tall Discord server, right? We're both in that Discord server. What national anthem is always playing in that server? What national anthem do we always play in that server, I ask you? Oh, that's right, the Dutch national anthem. So, whenever you're on a date with a woman, just remember, women like the Dutch. That's all you gotta think about it. Okay? Just women like Dutch guys. I like Bean, writing Bean fan. Little does not know that one I know will be Goblin Slayer and have no interest. She is not a goblin. Little does that woman know I will be Goblin Slayer and have no interest. She is not a goblin. Are you Goblin Slayer or are you Goblin Layer? Because I don't know, man. Do you really want a goblin girl? Do you really want a goblina? That's my question. Anywho, Count Dankula's video on Memory TV. This is something I wanted to see for a bit because I think we all know, I mean, fuck, even my own ticker here has Memory TV quotes in there because in the Goblin Slayer anime, he has no time for hoes. Well, yeah, I know, I've watched a bit of the anime. I forgot how fucking, like, just, like, I want to say the word autistic, but the dude is just so focused on, like, I just want to see them burn. And quite frankly, the goblins are little fuckers, so yeah, they should burn. Personally, though, I'm just saying, they seem like very peaceful people. They would totally integrate into society. Anywho. Yeah, no, Count Dankla did a video on Memory TV, and I really want to watch it, and you can tell by my stream ticker here, we got some Memory TV quotes down there, and I just wanted to see it because, fuck, it is such a, interesting little thing. It is. So, yeah. I love how whenever I buy Goblin Slayer books, this lady at Barnes & Noble looks at me funny. It's like, ma'am, the Milking Farm section book is right over there in the women's section. There's no werewolves in this, okay? Ma'am, I know what you're into. When they ask you if you're on the naughty or nice list for Christmas, you start blushing when you say naughty. I don't think we're saying naughty in the same way in the English lexicon here, sister. I don't think we're saying it the right way. But yeah, she doesn't even know the book's content. She just finds anime women weird. Hint: women find other women who like to be around men and also treat men nice to be a foreign concept. Anywho, Memory TV by Count Dankula.
Wallahi, my brothers. Now, we all know the Middle East as a region is known for being somewhat eccentric. With it being the cradle for civilization and all that, you would expect them to be beacons of high society and a shining example of proper form and etiquette.
You know, people kind of, like, I get the Kingdom of Heaven doesn't really help the case because people, I guess, well, the thing is with, okay, I should put this, we know, okay, Saladin was both a wise military tactician, but being a disconnected army, his generals were very much free to roam as they chose. The raiding parties on the roads to Jerusalem for the pilgrims. So what I'm just trying to get at here is that people often glaze up or try to make a mystique of, you know, once again, the noble savage, what people also add into it too. The Middle East has been pretty stagnant for the longest time, save for a very few countries. And even then, the only one that's become modernized, in quotations, in the region enough would be Saudi Arabia, and that's only because of the sheer wealth of oil there is, but there's no real substance or culture to Saudi Arabia itself, right? There's no real actual substance or culture particularly to it. It was all rapidly built up and very much no upper mobility. Like it's still has outdated practices that are far more they're just uneconomical. They're not economical, like slavery for fucking example. But anyhow, Dubai is the best one, at least in a way. Yeah, I guess Dubai, fair enough. To be fair, there was stuff that started in the Middle East, but that was a millennial ago. Like, dude, it's weird because I know I'm going on general, like an absolute generalization, but even I know well enough to counteract myself and saying there has been societies, there's fucking civilizations in the Middle East that have greatly advanced themselves, but often paling in comparison to what the Greeks or the Romans or just any European civilization post the Roman Empire has done, and has just rapidly advanced itself. So I often wonder, like, how the fuck the Middle East is in this situation. Then again, I also realize the answers are often in front of my face, but you don't want to say it out loud because it would hurt your career if you're dead. Not to get you in hot water, but my favorite thing that people say about people saying that this star in the Middle East is always followed with, "They was black brothers and sisters." That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love the "We was Kangs" meme back. Like, it's been around for a while, but there's the one that always gets me is this one green text. It was a quick screen cap. It was the cat staring at a ancient Egyptian statue of a mummified cat. And it was a cat looking back up at it. It was like, "We was Kangs," and right below was this little black and white kitten hiding behind the doorway, like just kind of sticking his head out the doorway, a little red bow tie around his chest. He's like, "That's right." Still the one that gets me the most. The "We was Kangs." That's right. I fucking love it. I'm sorry. The black, like, the. Thankfully, I've not had to deal with the black Israelites IRL, but like I've dealt with enough Afrocentralists and Afrocentrism and like unironic like thinking that we was Wakandas and shit with magical powers and shit. Like, the funny thing is the Nation of Islam actually made a more, and its offshoots made a more an interesting lore, an almost original lore to peddle their schlock with, and we all know Yaku, but like there's the Korean Hypoceno War and a bunch of other shit they made up, like for this, like, that keeps going on and on, spiraling in their religion in quotations for the Nation of Islam. But then you get like Afrocentrists that are just like, that just cut out the most like interesting shit and just like, "But we was Wakandas with space magic and powers, and we was the most advanced, and everything revolved around us, and we has magics and shit, and Wakanda's real." It's like, Wakanda's fucking was made by a couple of Jewish comic book artists for Black Panther in the 1960s. And it's like, how fucking lazy are you? And to the stereotype too, you are stealing an IP, so you are stealing an idea, so I don't know, kind of playing on the stereotype there of stealing. I'm just saying. But that's technology. That's the only thing that's like the Nation of Islam literally unwinds itself on the downfall of the greatness of the Nation of Islam. Watts was so dumb, and they, the whole thing, even making the white girl fucks dogs meme, and yet the only thing that somehow led to the way the world is somehow whites being this underdeveloped, slobbering race developing something called tricknology. And that's it. Had an Afrocentrist in high school, it was hilarious. Him trying to say his Black Panthers weren't violent, it was just a peaceful group. Even the teacher had to call that out. Fuck right off. Fuck right off. And you know where all the Black Panthers went to? Like the actual, like because like you had there's two types of violent Black Panthers, which is the majority of the group. You had the ones that were stupid enough to be just absolutely true believers and just rip and just like open up everywhere they go, and the other ones that were smart enough to take the contracts from the FBI and CIA and join up and disband the Black Panthers so that they could be usurpers in social circles. Essentially, the joke in "I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker" that the Waynes did was, what happened to the brothers, man? What happened to the Black Panthers? I thought you were 3,000 strong. They all got government jobs. What? We all walked in with guns and grenades into the bureau. They all walked in with fucking job applications. Why do he work in mysterious ways? I'm sorry, it's just I just don't get it. I know I do get it. I do get it. It's just, fuck, it's hilarious.
Well, it turns out, no, actually, the Middle East hasn't been like that since around the 600s. Wonder what happened there. But anyway, instead, it's become a quagmire of political, theological, and geographic conflicts that we all know and roll our eyes at. Now, with Middle Eastern affairs being as infamously volatile as you...
Born too late to die in the sandbox, born too early to die in the sandbox, born just in time to die in the sandbox. I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
You all well know, you could only imagine how ridiculous their respective television networks would be by extension.
Right.
And today, we're going to cover everyone's favourite. The one that has brought us the best quotes and memes from the other side of the Levant. Memory TV.
I hate sand. It's coarse and rough and it gets everywhere. Yep. So you know in Star Wars that like how every like alien race was like based off a certain ethnicity or nationality or or at least their accents were, because like the Twi'leks were French in accent, but I think they were Libyan French for the accent primarily, because it was definitely not a Parisian one if I remember correctly. I know there was that one blue race that was it was in the Clone Wars series when they went to Fresco, which is the frozen planet, and that race that wanted to conquer it were South Africans. The senator was kind of cute though, I will say. What were the Tusken Raiders, by the way? For a reminder, the first Tomb Raider film has a version of the sand quote. Guess the director was a fan.
Please leave a like and a comment on this video.
The Nemodians are apparently
really
Japanese. Oh shit, really? Huh. Also, there was that one banker group. The one alien race that was like the bankers in the Clone Wars. Like I fucking let me pull this up. Hang on. Let me pull up that up because I don't. Now I'm going on a Star Wars tangent. Now you got my little bit of my childhood ringing a bell here. Clone Wars banker clan. Let's see, who were these guys? Intergalactic Banking Clan, the IGBC. They were on Scipio, and the Scipians were the people. Okay. Sand Hill, that is the main Scipio. Yeah. It was to try and cut ties to the Separatists. And Sand Hill, that is a name and a half, if you can just come up here. Come here, Pokey. No, oh, you're not loading. Star Wars Sand Hill, because, like, they were, I don't know what they're based off of. Oh, they're the Muns, the Mun. Species Mun. Yeah, these little fuckers. They were strange. Like, I don't understand the concept behind them, but like, don't forget the banking clan. Don't forget Hutties were the Huts. Yeah, no, the Houthis, oh no. The Houthis were the Huts. Oh no. Yeah, no, I know screen's dark. I'm just trying to get up an image. There we go. There's our guy. This is what I remember from the Clone Wars, the Moons. This was the banking clan on Scipio. I just remember them having a really nasally voice, and I'm just like, you know, I don't know what to say. And we're going to, that is Sam Hyde? Is that Sam Hyde? No, literally the guy's name is called San Hill. Son Hill or San Hill. San Hill was a... Oh fuck. Over. Oh, they did not even fucking trust in the Clone Wars series. Oh no. The movies version looks a lot more tame. The Clone Wars animated one, oh, it does not look good. I'm not pulling that up. No. We're not gonna make that joke here. Not tonight. I'm not getting banned on Christmas.
The algorithm.
Silent Hill.
Ah, that ever familiar smell. Christmas, how I love it so. Do you not cherish it just like I do? It's got the sharpened wintry notes of a year's end and the warm and loving aroma of a Christmas dinner and eggnog. Whatever that is, probably some yank nonsense. But anyway, no, it's not any of those things. It isn't.
Do any of you guys actually drink eggnog is my question. Because, I mean, it's Christmas Eve right now, but like, has anyone ever actually drank eggnog? Because I can't remember when I last had it, but I don't think I remember liking it at all. Maybe it's just not for me. Maybe it's an acquired taste as you get older, but I don't know. Funny thing, the Mad Clone Wars skit basically called the CG models looking more wooden than Pinocchio. I drink nog on the reg. All right, my nogger. Many years back was good, but then one time I threw up. Hey, fool up. I drink non-alcohol typically, but I like alcohol. You just like the feeling it gives you, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, no, I don't remember the last time I ever had eggnog. Maybe I should give it a reshot sometime. Maybe like a
Instead,
retry.
something even better. It is your path to freedom
I'm not saying
from
that.
one bad habit that's been haunting you for far too long. That's right, boys. It's my beloved, lovey-chuddy, bubby-hubby, stud muffin, smoochy bear, Fume.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fume is the gold standard in flavoured air devices that's been making waves in the scene.
What I hate the most about like these Dankula ads is that his fucking writers are doing a lot of shit, and you can tell Marcus does not want to read the stuff off. And with Fume, they just make the consistent, just homoerotic phallic jokes with Fume constantly.
Trails, managing to attain the status.
Real question,
of
is
premier
warm or cold
without any
eggnog? I
need
like a
for
cold with
such
a foam and a
things as
cinnamon, but warm is nice too.
electricity or
I've
vapour.
only had cold, so maybe
He's
that was
all
my
air in
problem,
there.
but
With a
it could be good.
masterfully crafted wooden
Then
chassis,
again, the question is, do you like
can
warm milk?
suck
Because
'em
like warm
dry,
milk is like an acquired thing, where it's just like, yes, it sounds comforting on paper,
whilst
but when you
being
try it,
able
it's
to
like, do
fidget
you
with the
really like it or do you like
shaft.
it cold?
Because that controls how much flavour hits your throat with a cleverly designed airflow valve that
Also, I will
satisfyingly
say,
clicks with every tug
The
and
Gamer
twist.
Sup's sleeping powder, the
Sometimes,
AFK stuff.
when I close my eyes and I can't see, the dark scares me.
The blueberry lemon pie AFK powder, I find it mixes really well with milk before I go to bed. So I have to mix it up with some milk, and it really just helps me knocks me out, I guess.
But I find the
Tastes
courage
nice.
to go on by dulling these stressful thoughts with a hearty sucking
And no, I'm not
tub.
sponsored yet.
But hey,
Or
that's
not
enough
yet.
glazing the shaft. What about the flavours? Well, I'm very, very glad that I made you ask, because Fume has an incredibly tasteful and varied catalogue for you to choose from. From crisp mint to orange vanilla, I can assure you there's a taste profile perfectly suited for your developed taste buds. You know, I can actually time travel. When I close my eyes at night, I'll wait a few seconds and then open them.
So, having worked in my field where I work now, as a mechanic, unfortunately, I've come to the realization that people who vape I've had to deal with many people who do vape, unfortunately, and puff and huff all the time. And then we get the numbers down. Some of them are inhaling up to $40 of a vape a week. Yeah, I don't know how people go about doing that, because I heard, I know cigarettes are expensive, but then you hear how much people are vaping. I'm like, is it really that much cheaper than cigarettes, or is it just the same price at this point? Because, like, holy shit, how much are you hucking back a week? And it's just a matter of how, because you have to be in this field long enough, or you already developed it in high school as a bad habit. But if you are in this field and you develop this, that's just a lack of restraint on your part, personally. Like, yes, it's a stressful field. I get very stressed out, but you don't see me hitting these, alcohol or vape or tobacco, any form of tobacco products, really, or any nicotine. Yes, I got my energy drink, but these guys they're they got vape, they got smoking, and then they got their tons of coffee, and they got tons of energy drinks, and then alcohol to go to sleep. These are young guys, and they're like, yeah, Brands, life's a party. I'm like, how much you're putting away in your savings account, right? Like, I basically do financial audit in my shop. When they want to talk to me, it's like, man, how do I not be, how do I save some money, man? Like, I'm money's really hard right now. Like, I basically give them the financial audit rundown. It's like, fucking do this. And I'm not sure, because, like, the thing is, no shitting on Dank doing the sponsor, but, like, I've dealt with people who tried Fume to try and quit tobacco, and it's like, it just doesn't work for some. Like, if you're doing, like, cigarettes, maybe it'll work for you, because cigarettes don't typically have high nicotine content, like, that terribly. Like, yes, it's still bad for you, but it's like, the nicotine content in a cigarette is nowhere near what is in some of these vape packs. Or the vape packets. And, like, it's just way too much. And, like, fidgeting can get you over it.
Only to reveal that it's actually the daytime. How crazy is that? What's that? You want to know my preferred flavour? Well, I'm part of Team Black Licorice.
Oh,
I've been waking up every morning.
Sake. That's the thing I hate too about these ads. Every time his fucking writers make him do black jokes. Oh, God.
Proudly blacked.
Ah!
And let's just say, ever since I got Fume, I've been able to say Auf Wiedersehen to my
From what I understand, the Fume thing is basically to help quit, but I assume people use it as a replacement. Yeah, people, like, it's to try and get you to wean off it, but it's got the fidgety tools, and it's got the little inhale for the crisp air, but you can, like, tell me how... Okay. When there's 100 nanogram vape packs, I think nanogram is the correct measurement of unit for how much nicotine's in the vape packs. But when the guys I work with are huffing 100 nanogram like packets, my brother in Christ, that is way too strong. Like, that is, I think that's like equivalent to like how many cigarettes is it? How much cigarettes is that equivalent to? Because, like, fuck. That is a lot. There's no way that Fume is doing that.
Plastic.
Is going to be able to help you overcome that.
What does that even mean? Thank you, Fume. Ho, ho, ho. It is a very Merry Christmas with you, Fume. I don't want to go back into the stocking. So you can grab that old vape and stop returning its calls. It should try getting a job. Because Fume is here, and it should be worried about him. So, if you want to get in on this action and join 700,000 other Fumelings in finally vanquishing that one bad habit, you need only scan the QR code on the screen or go to tryfume.com/Dankula to get your free topper when you order a journey pack. Again, scan the QR code on the screen or go to tryfume.com/Dankula for a free topper when you order a journey pack. Merry Christmas, chuddies. Thank you, Fume, and now... back to the video. So, what actually is Memory TV? Well, Memory, or the Middle East Media Research Institute, is an American non...
Okay. Dankula wearing the fucking kefir, but I like how it's not even a kefir. I love how it's a tea towel with fucking... Is that bungee cords? Like garden hose wrapped around his head to hold it together. This fucking Birmingham Lawrence of Arabia. I love it. To be fair, blame the Brits for turning Dank into a jobless felon. Yeah, no, I understand. Like, no, like, I'm not shitting on him for taking the ad sponsor. I'm just saying, like, I'm like, man. But fucking Birmingham Lawrence of Arabia, this is hilarious. It's a kefir, right? The headdress is a kefir. Is it a headdress? Is the headdress? No, it's not kefir. What? No. What do they fucking call it? Oh shit. Keffiyeh. Yeah, it's keffiyeh, not kefir. Keffiyeh. I thought Kafir meant horse something. I mean, once again, I'm muddling my words here because I don't speak sand tongue, so like I don't know. Oh, it's used to it's basically goyim. That's what kafir means. Is basically in Arabic is the equivalent to goyim. So in Islam, if you're a kafir, you are a you're non-practicing Muslim, and even then it'd be also per sect. So the Shias and the Sunnis would be going at each other, calling each other kafirs, and then blowing each other up. So you shiggy diggy. But no, his kafia, like he's got this the fucking just laughing at the kafia he's wearing because it's just fucking it's just a fucking tea towel and wrapped up bungee cord. Birmingham, Lawrence of Arabia. I love it.
Prophet established in 1998, and it was created by, wait for it, 2 ex-Israeli intelligence officers.
Oh, of course. Which is the thing, is that people often mistake memory TV for, because some people who want to play the always the running protection game for Muslims are always going to go, well, memory TV is actually mistranslated because it was Mossad agents who were doing it, but somehow, no, it's actually in the middle where 2 ex-Israeli intelligence officers founded Memory TV, or the foundation that owns Memory TV, but the thing is, Memory TV is taking actual broadcasts from multiple nations within the Middle East, across the Arabian Peninsula, actually, and Emirates, and broadcasting it, but there were cases where there'd be some slight changes in the dialogue and translation to make it sound far more extreme, but for the most part, if I remember correctly, they didn't even have to fucking mess with a lot of it, because it was like, a lot of it was actually real.
Because of course it fucking was. But regardless, the stated objective of memory is, as the name may suggest, to research and monitor the Middle East by translating as much forms of media in the region as possible.
Yeah.
Including news programs, tabloid television like cooking shows, and even propaganda pieces from literal terrorist groups.
Now hear me out. I know it's not a real thing, but imagine Middle Eastern soap operas. Just fucking imagine that. We know how hard the South Korean soap operas or the telenovelas from South America go, right? Imagine Middle Eastern soap operas. Just put that in your fucking head. What would be the cliche? What would be their cliche to the amnesia arc, like to the constant amnesia episodes? What would be the equivalent of that? Because like I am genuinely curious. We have Turkish soaps. Oh fuck, I forgot about them too. Oh no, I forgot about Turkish soap operas. Oh. I forgot about that shit. But that's the thing, like, Turkey, yes, Turkey is a nation, but that is a majority practicing Muslim nation, but like Turkey, to some degree, is a little bit more adjusted to the Western world, somewhat, or for the most part, in terms of their actual, the certain provinces of Turkey, they're a bit more adjusted to the Western world. I'm talking about like hardline in the Middle East, right? Cliche would be, you screwed my sister Muhammad. How could I tell she was wearing your burqa? We all have the same black burqa. Fucking Christ. Oh, that would be terrible. Oh boy. Holy shit.
Because truthfully, I don't think most jihadis are great at English. Let alone any other de facto lingua franca beyond Arabic. Now, having said that, due to the time period that Memory TV was founded in, you can only imagine what their main focus was on. especially with who founded them,
Right.
but also who was needing their services. Indeed, the jihadis can't speak English, but in the same vein, the average American can't speak Arabic.
What the Yeah, I know Dank does his constant, like, Yankeoid shit posting and stuff, but fucking Fred Durst, Jesus, man. Don't do this to us. One I recall that was a soap opera where the house husband ends up cheating on his wife and then marrying his mistress and then having a kid with her, but falling back in love with his ex-wife. What the fuck? You know what's great about soap opera writers? You have the laziest, non-coherent, non-consistent plot lines that continuously run throughout the show, and fucking, I don't think even house actual like stay-at-home moms existed, like hardly exist anymore in the West to a degree that there would be that much of a audience. So, of course, a lot of retirees, but welfare queens. There we go. That's who's fucking gobbling this shit up. Holy crap. You know how many are, like they just gobble that shit up, too. Like, Coronation Street has been going on for how many years? Like, nearly 50 years or 40 years Coronation Street's been going on for? My fucking grandma still watches that show. Like, it becomes a generational series where the kid grows up. Yeah! Like, truth be told, it becomes almost like a Truman Show at that point as well. Because, like, it's an actual, like, his whole life, the kid's whole life is going to be revolved around on set as he grows up and has his own story arcs, or their own story arcs. And even then, they're also set for life because how much money, like, yeah, it's not millions of dollars, but, like, that's consistent work. And the acting is not, like, great either. You don't need to be a high-caliber actor for it.
With all that Iraq malarkey kicking off, the average Yankoid was becoming a lot more curious about it. Then 9/11 happened, and wouldn't you know it, all of the Yanks became very, very curious about it. As a result, memory was very quickly becoming the prime insight for anything and everything Arab, with their patrons being the likes of Fox News and other kosher right platforms, providing media and reports translated from the aforementioned Arabic, alongside the likes of Turkish, Farsi, Pashto, Urdu, and Chinese. All neatly packaged
I forgot the Uyghurs were also involved in this too.
While some tomato man huffs and puffs about how we need to give a lot more money to Raytheon right fucking now.
Boost those fucking stocks, boys! Daddy needs to get rich. I'm gonna send a couple more 18-year-olds off to fucking Bloodbath, and I get to get more money. Oh, what's that I hear? Is that another supplier for Ukraine? But it's not my tax dollars, but Ray wants to do it. Oh, time to invest my money. Yep. Oh, the kid didn't grow up with the show. In the universe, time does pass, but the kid actor gets replaced by an older actor, but almost everyone looks similar. Oh, no.
Unsurprisingly, the demand for such things multiplied a lot post 9/11, due to the subsequent war on terror being all the rage in the American psyche, in a lot more ways than one, with memory being the metaphorical bad guy whisperer for Uncle Sam, with both Civvy and Squaddy alike benefiting from the translations from the Yakadans media into a normal Nedic tongue, as they had long since moved past the poetry and diplomacy of the curved sword into something a little bit more abstract.
Right.
Yes, I have been rediscovering Elder Scrolls lore. How could you tell? Curved swords. But that's by the by. Because, to be quite frank, nobody really actually gives a shit about the history and intended usage for memory TV.
No.
None of you actually care deep down.
Because, like, even then, people who do, like, the deep dive covers, like, I think was it Wavy Web Surf, or I forget who's the other one who does, like, an actual, like, deep dive on memory. They all go to say, actually, it's all mistranslated. This isn't what was actually going on, right? Because, like, once again, it's easy to point the finger and go, okay, well, these are ex-Israeli intelligence officers, so of course this is going to be used for, we need to get more money to Israel, like type of incentivization. However, that doesn't mean that how much shit was said on Memory TV was legitimate, because like it was snippeting news stories and talk shows from the different regions of the Middle East. However, that was still shit for the most part they were saying, and not even in translation. It was like, for the most part, they didn't even need to, you know, they didn't need to do the localization or the localizer's spin to it. That was the straight fucking translation. That's the scary part.
You're here
and also the equally
for
humorous
something
part.
else. You've probably seen some of the footage from Memory that just has to absolutely be fake. Because there is no way that those fuckers are this absurd, right? After all, a large amount of the memorabilia in circulation...
It's even worse than it. He is. Oh, forgive me for muttering this word. I'll pay you. Jesus. I love these memory memes. Oh my god. Because, like, there's so many to the arsenal. And it's so, like, they're so plentiful. That it just stays fresh. Like, this isn't something that'll be gone within, like, a couple months or a month, right? Like, this shit's still been around for, like, over nearly, like, it's crossed over multiple decades in this point of how famous this shit is.
...is technically doctored to be even more absurd than they already are naturally by funny internet people that make me shit my britches every single time they depict themselves as the Nordic gamer Chad and me as the irate Cobson. Surely a bunch of the translations in these memes and videos
forgive me, but this is hilarious.
must be fake.
Wallahi, that is very accurate. I'm sorry. I think most of my Arabic dialect has come from the Almighty Lolly and Punish Shota, because Derek and H250, I'm not sure you guys were there for the stream, but it was one of the very early Almighty Lolly streams. And for some fucking reason, I think it was Shota's birthday and they had Irishman on for the first time. For some fucking reason, Shota kept playing the I will sacrifice my life for Pakistan video, where there's a bunch of school kids like preaching how they want to blow up India and how they want to give their lives to Pakistan. And for the love of God, it was just like Shota off 4 energy drinks was screaming, "Inshallah, my heart for Pakistan." Jesus. Yeah, no, you did not. Have you ever seen that video? We're gonna play that afterwards. You are gonna love this. Fuck me. Imagine I'm gonna love this. Because if the I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the one teenager in that lineup who had the face paint of Pakistan's flag on his face and screamed, "I love Pakistan, I'll give my life for Pakistan! I love Pakistan!" That kid's got so much hype energy to him. And the scary thing is that when you look into that woman who was doing the fucking, like, the teacher of the school, she was funneling money out of the school into her own pocketbook. She funneled $500,000 and was using this promotional video as a cover for the Pakistani government and for foreign investors, for herself, to funnel the money out of the school's coffers. So the whole video is made to be a scam.
Very happy to tell you that you are not only slacking and reneging on your New Year's resolutions already, you fucking slob, but you are also dead fucking wrong. Because Memory TV has very quickly gained the reputation for supposedly showcasing some of the most ridiculous aspects of modern Middle Eastern culture, with there being just so many clippable and quotable excerpts that I would be sitting here for probably hours just rattling them off.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm just going to show you a massive compilation of some of my favourites. Now, let us start with an absolute classic and arguably the most well-known piece of memorabilia.
Right.
The shoe post.
By all I'll behave
Unlike
something
the
you taste my shoe.
aforementioned
Oh no. Because that's the scary thing is that, once again, one of my quotes in my ticker was, you'll see it for, yeah, there's the Twitch one right there. Why should I apologize for being a misogynist? What woman's ever apologized for turning me into one? That is from this motherfucker right here. I know, because I stole that quote, and I put that in my fucking ticker. It's in my ticker itself. Oh god. I love this one. Yeah, no, this irate this irate fundamentalist is so good. I love this. I love this video so much. I usually don't like a lot of like the like there's like a lot of people who try to hype up Star ones, but like there's only one Sheik. There's actually a Sheik I actually did watch. Sorry, I didn't watch. This is the one clip, because like the only wholesome Islam meme I've seen is like the one Sheik where he was hosting basically a call-in religious service, and this one guy calls in and it says like he was doing a fast, but he slipped and a shawarma with extra tahini fell into his mouth. And then a slice of apple fell into his mouth as well as he was slipping and falling, and 3 liters of water also basically waterboarded him and being forced to be drunk. Should he continue his fast, or was it Allah who fed him? Or was Allah's will that fed him? And it just, the face of the Sheik is just like, he's staring at the fucking screen. Just like, because like, this guy basically called in to shitpost. Because that's very common. You won't really see this with like a lot of like Christian call-in shows. They often very much vet what comes in, but like the sheiks in the Middle East, when they do their religious sermons, a lot of college kids from foreign nations will call in to shitpost, and it is so funny because they will absolutely get enraged.
Albanian post, this one is entirely real and an excerpt taken from an actual live TV debate involving one Mahmoud Shaban, an Egyptian sheikh and professor of the Salafist persuasion, who came on the show to boast the virtue and righteousness of true Sharia law. And he came to boast this upon his adversary, journalist Islam al-Buhairi, who was giving some pushback to his convictions. And then Mahmoud proceeded to have something of an absolute fucking crash out live on air, resulting in the two men just sort of, well, just see for yourself.
وإلا سلقتك بحاد لساني وأنا أمسك نفسي قدر طاقتي. طول النهار في السلق؟ لأنك تستحق هذا. وأنا ما عنديش لسان؟ لا تصمد أمامي.
Don't stand a good chance against me. I'll teach you a lesson. By Allah, behave yourself. You taste my shoe. Oh, he's actually going for it. Oh yeah, I'll wipe the floor with you. Oh, there he is. It's the moral you stoop to. Let me do this for everyone to see. Behave yourself. I will teach you and all the people how to behave.
A very, very fun fact about Mr. Shaban is he is currently in an Egyptian prison serving out a sentence of 15 years for supposedly joining and inciting terrorism in favour of the Free Syrian Army, which is a prescribed terror group within the Egyptian state.
I know
now,
about these guys.
Before all you Yankoids start performatively moulding over this, I do need to remind you that the handle of free does not always mean good. You know, like free housing or free healthcare. Because the free...
One thing you learn in life, shit ain't free. And that shit often has a cost. That cost comes heavy if it says free.
Syrian army are... just putting it very bluntly, not very nice people.
Oh, yeah, no shit.
Who, due to existing in Syria, have to do some rather bad fucking things to stay alive. including strategic friendliness with the likes of ISIS and supposedly employing child soldiers.
Yeah.
That, however, is not only a whole can of worms, but it's also not what this video is about. Now, as you may extrapolate from this, political debate in the memoryverse can be quite volatile.
Right.
With the seeming majority of civil discourse characteristically breaking down into either a weirdly zealous shouting match or
all those
just an
lowlights we
outright
collaborates
tar
with.
brawl.
Al-Maliki is an elected leader.
Showcasing
Anyone who
that
calls
despite the
Al-Maliki a
widespread
leader go to
proliferation
hell.
of Western etiquette and ethical standards, that
Really
abstract
go.
woo-woo shite goes right to the wind the second that Mustafa Gub Al-Jalani gives you that evil eye from across the table. Mind you, this is not even exclusive to the topic of the small hat people.
Oh boy.
It's with just about literally fucking anything. But speaking of which, actually, because of reasons I don't think I need to explain, whenever the concept of Judaism or Israel come up, the aforementioned phenomena also seems to manifest with some added vitriol due to, well, geopolitical circumstances that we are all currently very familiar with. And they don't
Yep. Thousands of years and we're still dealing with all this shit.
just take pot shots on the news stage either. Observe here this very wholesome and titillating children's TV show titled The Pioneers of Tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
Which is a children's TV show created by Hamas.
You've gotta be fucking kidding me. Cause like I know Kirsha covered the fucking dance group, like the boy band dance group that Hamas tried to do to make public morale appeal to people. Holy shit.
اها هو السلام الاسلام طيب احنا لازم نعرف حبايبنا
What
الاطفال ايضا
the
انه اليهود
fuck?
المجرمين قاعدين بخططوا وبيعملوا انفاق من تحت ايش المسجد الاقصى المبارك عشان ايش يسووا نسيت ايش بدهم يعملوا الهي بدهم يحطوا بدل قبة الصخرة الهي ايش اسمه هيكل المزعوم
احنا بدنا تكون
Is that Mickey Mouse? Is that Mickey Mouse?
احنا بدنا ندافع عن
Aren't we Sonabella?
بأرواحنا وبدمائنا ولا لا يا سنابل؟
I will come. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
ولا لا يا سنابل؟
First off, you have a kid hosting this with a fucking knockoff Mickey Mouse. Holy shit! I will commit martyrdom. My brother in Christ. Imagine if there was like call-in shows when I was a kid for some of the stuff I watched. Right? Because like, imagine. Fucking imagine. I call in. Like calling to Thomas and friends and saying, I will commit martyrdom. I will commit a holy crusade. Me calling to Thomas the Tank Engine and friends saying, I will commit a holy crusade in the name of the Isle of Sodor. Oh my god. Holy shit. We've said more than once that becoming Master of the World required the following. Oh, I'm sure you'll become real good Masters of the World. You clearly mastered your own fucking part of the world, I'll tell you that much.
تتطلب بالتالي أولاً أن نكون سعداء بلغتنا العربية التي سادت في يوم من الأيام هذا العالم. طبعاً.
Yes, really, that is an actual children's TV show being aired by fucking Hamas that has young school children professing their desire to engage in righteous jihad against the state of Israel. With a Mickey Mouse rip-off character named Farfour encouraging...
That's where the name comes from? I heard that name before. Oh no.
...children to annihilate the Jews. And arguably, the funniest part is that there is in fact a reason that the bee isn't in it.
What?
Let me have Al Jazeera explain what I mean by that.
The rabbit replaces Nahul the bee, who gets his fun from tormenting cats and from throwing stones at a cage.
Fuck. I don't get it with the Middle Easterners when it comes to abusing animals. I don't get it.
Lion. The children get to watch Nahol's antics for several minutes before...
What's worse? And this is actually pretty topical to the video and would be a great fight video. In 2007, for the Bee movie... I know, but for the Bee movie... Jerry Seinfeld, as promotion, dressed up as a bee and did a zip line across, I think, San Fran Harbor. So I want to see the Bee here versus Jerry Seinfeld Bee, which would be very topical considering the situation of the religious sects they each belong to, or religious iconographies they each belong to.
The show
or
delivers
ideologies.
the moral of the story. Don't try this at home. But Nahal didn't leave the show because of his naughty behaviour. The young viewers are told that the cuddly bee died because the Israeli siege on Gaza prevented him from reaching a hospital.
What the fuck? Oh no, I think yeah, no, you're right, I spoke too soon on that one. The bee. He couldn't make it to I'm sorry, the bee couldn't be with us because he fucking died on his way to hospital. Oh boy. Because he couldn't make it to hospital because of the siege. Oh boy.
Yes, really. Netanyahu must pay for what happened to the bee. But that is just the tip of the iceberg, because it turns out that Hamas do not have the sole monopoly on children's television.
No shit.
No, because in the memory verse, there is another. The fucking Houthis have also made a children's TV
What?
show.
What the hell is this animation? Shabbat TV. I would like to know about the most cunning enemies of the Muslims. Oh boy. This is like the same animation like program they used to have us have like info stuff, like infotainment stuff for us kids back when I was in like elementary school and high school. Arabic anime. Arabic anime. Wahali Dunkalal. Arabic anime. Oh my fucking god. This is Oh no.
هل تقصد اليهود؟
نحن الآن في أوروبا في أواخر القرن التاسع عشر وفي مدينة بودابست. لابد أن تعلموا أن العالم كان كله يكره اليهود ولا يتقبل العيش معهم حتى في أوروبا لسوء أخلاقهم وغدرهم وخيانتهم واحتكارهم للسلع والبضائع في أوقات الشدة. فالجميع لا يستطيع العيش معهم أو تقبلهم.
أقترح أن يكون هيرتزل رئيسا عاما للحركة الصهيونية.
شكرا لكم جميعا. إن انتخابي رئيسا للحركة الصهيونية هو تشريف لي، وهو بداية الطريق لتحقيق ما نحلم به جميعا: السيطرة على العالم اقتصاديا وسياسيا.
I'm assuming you've all got the gist of it by now.
Yeah,
it turns out that those Muslims really don't like the Jews that much. Well, what about Christians? Well, while they don't hate them nearly as much as they hate the Jews, they are still not exactly fond of them.
No.
Especially one Hamas fellow that really has it out for Santa for presumably being on the naughty list.
Right.
وبابا نويل هذا شخصية
So I thought it's a witty and jolly personality.
الدعابة
the average Santa denier. Look at that. The phenotype of the average Santa denier. Look at that. This is the phenotype of the average Santa denier. As you can see by his underdeveloped jawline and his crooked teeth, he is quite missing on the milk and cookie diet that one would typically need to have strong calcium to maintain such bone marrow for your teeth enamel. Now, as you can see by his nasal, the average Santa, exactly.
الدعابة ورجل ظريف يتناول الحلوى والإهداءات.
I can run the Polar Express with that tooth gap.
وصورة بابا نويل هذه
Constitutes invasion of Muslim countries because they want to ingrain the image of Santa Claus amongst Muslims.
But hey, those are
also Did you guys hear about France canceling any Christmas celebrations this year? Because they were afraid that, the people that aren't supposed to be there are gonna blow up shit and get violent. Yeah. Did you also see that the London mayor nearly had a complete breakdown on stage when after all the humiliation ritual was done and all the appeasement was done, he still had to sing Adesti Fidelis as per tradition? All I'm saying is well, I'm gonna put it this way. Chat doesn't know how far I'm willing to go with what I'm willing to say, but I'm not ready to lose my YouTube channel just yet. Adesti Fidelis. Oh, come all ye faithful. That's what it is. In Latin, Adesti Fidelis is, oh, come all ye faithful. I should watch that, but man, wow. Yeah, no, unfortunately. And I feel as if, though, once again, oh, okay, the traditional truck of Peace Parade got canceled. Yep, Germany too. Gentlemen, it is do or die for Europe, and I believe Europe should do then as opposed to die. That's the only way I can put my take on things. And I will leave it at that. See, when it comes to problems, when it comes to my actual political stance on the matter of life, I'm very economically and socially more libertarian. I'm more like personal responsibility, free will, pursuit of liberty, pursuit of profit, pursuit of fulfillment, with a bit more conservative values to some things, but or to actually a lot of things. However, when it comes to the certain situation we're in right now, it goes from libertarian to more, well, let's say the M43 gets donned, right? I don the M43 hat because Gott mit uns, if you will. Sometimes some action is needed to defend yourself and your loved ones. And that can get pretty tough. But just remember, Gott mit uns. That's where I stand.
Hot button topics that are peddled by either fringe Islamic scholars or literal terror groups. What about something a little bit more formal? Like, say, the Jordanian parliament. Who, for whatever reason, decided to have themselves a nice and civil debate on the concept of women's rights.
It comes back to it.
What could possibly happen?
The expression Jordanian women shall be added to the title of the second chapter. By the way, did anyone see that, I know it's off topic, but was it Malaysia that just had a VTuber official parliamentary newscaster added to their roster, where their C-SPAN, they have a VTuber that will read the parliament's their government's undertakings out to the public. And it's like an officially state-sponsored VTuber, but it's like, oh, you know, it was a cute little model. It was not the best rig, because once again, it's a bureaucratically, you know, tax-funded VTubing thing, but like, I don't know, I thought it was kind of cute for like a little small country like from Malaysia to pull off. There he goes.
Are you even surprised? Like, all I have to say at this point is it's very good to see the elected representatives of Parliament be so passionate about such issues.
Yeah.
It almost makes me believe that democracy could actually work and that one day we could be unshackled from the self-imposed hell that is women's suffrage.
There are two ways to get out of this one. One is billions dead, oceans of blood, and continents turn to dust. The other involves being a little mean and saying no to women sometimes. Oh no, but I can't say no. Listen, the amount of shit I've thrown and lobbed on Twitter or just IRL, like when it comes to like women, because like even guys who want to be like, yeah, bro, I'm red pill, I'm hard, don't actually say what they think about women to women. And sometimes, but then when I get like pissed off enough, or a woman starts like getting up my face, I'm like, all hold bar is dropped. Like there is no qualms with me saying whatever the fuck I want. If you slap me, I will take you down because I don't care how much stronger that I am than you. You touch me, I drop you. No problem. Because I'm fucking tired of it. And I just think it's funny. Like, personally, like, there's a lot of people I know, and I say, like, especially you see with, like, a lot of red tubing, like red pill people or whatever, it's just, like, just sometimes have the balls to say something to a chick. Don't like, I really want to say, you know, fucking say it.
That's just fantastical thinking, because as we all know, women's rights, unfortunately, aren't going anywhere anytime soon, because far too many men have forsaken the holy bro code in lieu of simping and white knighting in the hopes of getting the elusive, racist tradwife Quirk Chungus. And instead, becoming enthralled by the badly disguised Vantaskank succubi that prowl among us. Pray for them. I mean, wallahi. But at the end of the day, that's all just politics. The Middle East has weird and volatile politics. Shocking, I know. But do you know what else is shocking? The paranormal. Indeed, the Middle East is no stranger to the metaphysical, right, being healthily skeptical of it and allowing to air a live possession of a jinn. All the way,
oh, sorry,
like,
what?
certified...
Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. God, I love women's rights, inshallah. Fuck.
Medical man tries to debunk the harrowing and unholy experience unfolding before him.
Uh-oh.
The following footage is very disturbing, so please look away if you are easily perturbed.
I don't know who it was I watched, but someone... Oh, was it... Once again, was this going back to, like... I'm trying to think, was it Shota? Was it Planet Shota again, who... Was it him who was watching the Middle Eastern, like, ghost hunting videos, or was it, like, some other VTuber was watching Middle Eastern ghost hunting? I think it was Pippa. Was it either Pippa or was it Planet Shota? But, like, those Middle Eastern ghost hunting videos are just so stupidly funny with how, like, the scares are, but, like, it's so stupid. It's a good riot, right? But it's just like, it's more interesting to see the abandoned, like, sometimes Soviet brutalist style buildings in the middle of the desert that were from, like, Iraq, or parts where Soviet influence got into the Middle East, because it was just like, how the fuck is this still standing?
By Spooky Jinn.
Spooky Jinn, oh no.
ده ممثل مش معلوش جن. ده ممثل معلوش جن، ده بيمثل. ده ممثل كذاب، ده كذاب. ده كذاب لا عليه جن ولا حاجة. وبعدين دي يعني
حضرتك عرفت منين؟ طب يا جماعة البتاع هيشوفوا.
يا أستاذة
Miss Muna, he's mentally retarded.
I'll give you a moment to collect yourself after that. I still get shivers in the shits just from watching that. Also, women behave in a very similar way when they are drinking gin.
Yeah.
And to think that if it wasn't for the brave acts of the translators, this entire scene could very easily have been memory hole.
Huh, I've seen spelled with a D. Wonder if there's a difference or just preference. That man is possessed. I am back. Why is there not just a dude on my screen? Why is there not just on my screen? You just watched a guy get possessed by a djinn on Memory TV. That's right, we're watching a video about Memory TV. That was the guy being possessed by a djinn on live broadcast. Let me get that final quote there. Miss Muna, he is mentally retarded. Brother Shar, we were watching Wahali TV. Oh fuck! I think I just cut the volume. Hang on. Nope. I gotta go down here. Hang on. Unfuck my volume. There we go. Boop.
I'll give you a moment to collect yourself after that. I still get shivers in the shits just from watching that. Also, women behave in a very similar way when they are drinking gin. And to think that if it wasn't for the brave acts of the translators, this entire scene could very easily have been memory holed. Let's hear the opinions of an imam to weigh in on how to deal with such mental health episodes.
Right. We all know that some men suffer from a mental disorder known as sadism. Okay. Right. And that some women suffer from a mental disorder known as masochism. Right. What is the cure for such disorders? Beatings. Preach, brother, preach! I'm sorry. This one was perfect.
Yes, I concur. Anyways, I'm becoming rather peckish now after trying to weave and segue through these random clips for you. So, why don't we...
No, there's a cooking channel too? Are we gonna get Hijabi Martha Stewart? Is there a Hijabi Martha Stewart? Sadist is the being of the masochist. Checks out. You know, when he started talking about masochism and how it's a mental disorder, all I could think of was just darkness from Konosuba, and then I started thinking of darkness in a burqa, and I just thought to myself, she'd probably like being in a burqa, wouldn't she? If she's in sweltering heat.
Channel or inner Randy Marsh and tune in to a nice and wholesome cooking show.
Uh-oh.
After all, I love food so much that I'm convinced I would die without it. Luckily for the both of us, Brother Mohammed Fawzi is just the man for the job.
Yusuf, salam alaikum.
Hello, Yusuf, you're on the air. Oh,
Yusuf.
no. Peace be upon you, welcome. Go ahead. Is this don't mean the breast milk of a happy woman? Or the milk of a
تصدق ان انت راجل نادل قوي عشان انت كل مره تخش باسم ثاني تخش باسم سني انت
من حليب الوهابيات ولا حليب ام المؤمنين عائشه
تصدق ان انت
Oh my god.
انت راجل نادل قوي عشان انت كل مره تخش باسم ثاني تخش باسم
سني name, a respectable name.
تخش باسم راجل محترم وبنستقبلك
We accept your call, believe that you were a respectable man.
تحترم
We accept you. If you're a Shiite, no,
بتعتقد اعتقاد غير
or it's even if you are a Shiite, and whole, I just fucking say Shiite, I don't care anymore at this point, and whole beliefs that differ from those of the Muslims.
المسلمين فيجب احترام المسلمين.
You must show respect to the Muslims, you scum.
يا نادل مش هعرف اكتر من كده.
I have nothing more to say to you. May God help
حسبي الله
you.
ونعم الوكيل فيك. بقول له حتى لو هو على
Even if he hears the mistaken beliefs, he should.
هو لازم ما هم كفايه ان هم
So if I say that his beliefs are wrong.
يعني بيخش باسم
He calls them using names like Mustafa, Muhammad, or Ahmed. If you're a real man, you use a real name like Kazim.
يعني خش باسم كاظم.
Kazim or one Shai.
احنا نفهم ان انت مين.
We understand who we're dealing with.
I just wanted to watch some cooking, man.
I just want to watch some cooking.
Just like back in the day when people would prank call C-SPAN, one of the absolute
awesome.
best bits in the memory verse is the repeated prank calls and harassment of Brother Fawzi by just anonymous shitters who are weirdly obsessed with the breast milk of Muhammad's child bride. I don't know what beef they had, but what I do know is that Brother Fawzi fucking loves Saddam Hussein.
What? Is there a real Islamic regime? You people will not exist anymore. Allah willing.
صح يعني انتوا مش هكون لكم وجود ان شاء الله. واتقوا الله كده
Be
وخليكم
God fearing and behave yourselves.
عشت في العراق.
I lived in Iraq for 4.5 years.
كان اجمل.
Those were the best days of my life. Please tell me he was like some sort of like cooking, like he was some sort of caterer to the fucking. Oh man, what was what was Saddam's unit again? It's not his army. What was the unit called again? The Fedayeen. Please tell me he was a caterer to the Fedayeen. Please tell me he was a caterer to the Fedayeen. Okay, but how did the milk? Charlemagne, what the fuck, man? I don't want to think about the Prophet of Islam's child bride with the fucking rest. Ah. This fuck, man, please. I'm trying to stomach this enough already, Jesus.
ايام حياتي والله يرحمه صدام حسين. الله يرحمه.
Allah's mercy upon Saddam Hussein. He wouldn't let you utter a single word.
So what the fuck can I honestly say about memory TV? Well, it's other than the fact that
beautiful.
It's controversial for supposedly hamming up its translations and conveniently nitpicking the most sensational and frankly ridiculous clips to further worsen the already fairly tattered reputation of the Middle East, all I can genuinely say about the memory verse is it's fucking amazing. It's so fucking good. Like, genuinely, past the point, I don't even care about whether or not it's actually faithfully translated or curated. It is funny as fuck, and it's easily one of the most memeable formats that I'm aware of. In fact, here's just a bunch of random clips from Memory TV. No shit, this is like the Pakistan video. What? My stomach, no. Oh, my stomach hurts from that one. Excuse me? How did you become an atheist? Because there's no scientific evidence for the existence of God. That's a pretty swanky turtleneck. I like that. I actually like that sweater. That is really nice. You offer atheism, you offer heresy. I apologize to the viewers for having an Egyptian of this kind on our show. Oh my God. Look, dear Muhammad, you need psychiatric treatment. Many young people today suffer from mental illnesses due to material or mental circumstances. It's like Sheikh Mohammed said, have you seen a psychiatrist? I advise you to leave the studio and go straight to a psychiatric hospital. There is no minimal... Oh, no!
ليس له سن معينة في إجراء العقد. يعقد على حتى يمكن أن يعقد على فتاة عمرها سنة زمان مش 9 سنين ولا 7 سنين ولا 8 سنين.
في هذه الحلقة على اشتراط
The demand that the Palestinian people recognize Israel as a Jewish state. Oh boy, here we go. Inshallah. I would like to begin by quoting what Allah said about them. Oh no.
من قول الله تعالى عنهم إن شر الدواب عند الله الذين كفروا لا يؤمنون الذين عاهدت منهم ثم
but they break their covenant every time.
في كل مرة وهم لا يتقون.
Scratch the previous comment, nuke it.
إذن السؤال الذي يطرح نفسه
The obvious question is, what is the solution to this gang of people? The Al-Anfal chapter of the Quran provides us with the answer.
إذ إنه سبحانه وتعالى بعد أن قال الذين عاهدت منهم ثم ينقضون عهدهم في كل مرة وهم لا يتقون قال فإما تثقفنهم في الحرب فشرد بهم من خلفهم لعلهم يذكرون وهي إشارة إلى وجوب الإثخان فيهم لكسر شوكتهم ولمنع فسادهم في الأرض.
This is Incredible Hulk. I'm sorry. So we go from this. This is the Incredible Hulk or the Samson of our times. Oh boy. He got married 28 times and his father. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry he got married how many times and had how many kids? Isn't the law, because like my understanding is Bulge had its own show. He is the Hulk. Okay. Okay. That pose, the shirt, the workman's collared shirt, the khakis, the wide stance. NTR Dojan man. The NTR Dojan landlord man. He is the ugly bastard. He is the ugly bastard phenotype. Holy shit. The Samson of our times.
تزوج 28 مرة وأنجب 35 ابنا وابنة. أكبرهم سماح 24
Eldest Sami is 24 years old, while the youngest Saeed is only 3.
وأصغرهم سيد 3 سنوات.
I must have sex with my... He is literally the ugly bastard landlord. Holy fuck. If you Samson were... Holy shit. Give me a sec. I gotta find this image. I gotta find the janitor. I gotta find this. I want you to look. I'm gonna show him that photo again. You ready? Are you ready for this? Okay. So we have our man of the hour. Okay, I get. He's got the mustache. And then, that's still fresh to your mind? And then you got this. Look at this fucking guy. What the fuck? What is this guy? Holy shit. I must have sex with my wives 15 times. It's all in the medical report. You have sex 15 times with your wives, yes. Every day. I drink melted butter and I eat raw mutton. Do you feel that gives you extra strength? You have the pictures backgrounds after his 20th wife. He got hit with the Revitalago. God. Revitalago. No! My mind just wandered. He looks like a Middle Eastern Uncle Ruckus. He looks like a Middle Eastern Uncle Ruckus. Oh God, no. A regular human being cannot drink melted butter or eat raw mutton. If he does, he might get sick and die. Let's return to the issue of sex 15 times a day, Allah willing.
Now, I know that this was just a little random short video of us just watching a bunch of clips together, but this video was for me. Not you, me. You were just along for the ride whilst I got to stroll down memory lane for a little bit and tell this camera about my favourite memories whilst I fantasize about the universe in which the Middle East is actually a real
relation
place.
infidel.
Because the more and more I watch memory TV, the less I'm convinced that the Middle East actually even exists.
It's Count, thank you on YouTube. Everybody should subscribe.
Oh, thank you, God, thank you. Oh, what the hell, man. I needed that. Alright, let's move on. Oh my god. I'm trying to hold it together. I am trying to hold it together. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Holy god. I'm sorry. That is... I'm gonna watch another Count Dankula video. Let's watch one about the Toyota War. Because this is an older one, but... I'm feeling like a Middle Eastern hitch right now. And I need to talk about more about the Middle East because fuck, this is... I mean, it's kind of topical if you think about it. Christmas, Jesus born in Bethlehem, in Israel, and that is part of the Middle East, so I guess it is topical.
Now, I've wanted to do a bunch of different types of it.
So this is video on Count Dankula's video about the Toyota truck, the war that was fought with Toyota trucks. I think, actually, wasn't this war in Africa though?
For a while now,
I've wanted
to do a bunch of different types of videos. Ones where I talk about things that I find interesting, but
this is much different than other videos now.
Mad Lads theme. These could be interesting events, facts, concepts, a bunch of different things.
Right.
So you're going to be seeing a lot more of those types of videos, and if my plans for this channel go well...
Yeah, this is the Dankula I remember when it was his roof Korean videos and his Jody Plauché video. Oh, sorry, Gary Plauché video. Because this was Dank before he got all the extra production. He was still in his office chairs talking to the camera. This is when he was being hounded by the... Oh, was he at this point, or was he off the hook?
You're going to see a lot more uploads every month. Mad Lads isn't going anywhere though. Mad Lads is my baby. That's here to stay, so don't worry about that. But everyone has been requesting that I talk about so many other things outside of Mad Lads, and those other things sound a lot of fun and sound like they would make great videos. So I'm going to add that type of content to my channel. And to start us off, do you want to hear about a war that was fought with Toyotas? But before we get started, this video was brought to you by
a bit off the hook. Like the human rights courts failed him because of faulty paperwork. Yeah, I think he just had to pay the fine at this point. It was like he had to pay an $800 fine, however, £800 fine. However, he went about it by getting people to dono raise for him to get the fine paid off. And then the UK government immediately after that made it where you couldn't have your fines or paid off through donations unless you were of a persuasion or race that was approved to have it happen, you know.
You can run the audio through your Raycons and keep it.
This is an old video, so I will skip the ad on this one because...
dictator of Libya in 1969. Colonel Gaddafi had... Since becoming the dictator of Libya in 1969, Colonel Gaddafi...
Gaddafi, our old boy here. The guy with the, wasn't Gaddafi the one with the Amazonian women's security force around him? To show that he was really, with the progressive nature of the socialist state, hint hint, wink wink, but was like, he actually had like a bunch of like female personnel, like bodyguards around him constantly.
Always aimed to expand his territory into the weaker nations of Northern Africa. One area that he had his eye on was a piece of land called the Ayuzu Strip, which was located in the desert borderlands between Chad and Libya. He claimed this land by arguing that it historically belonged to Libya, particularly during the Italian colonial period. You know, that fine example of Italian diplomacy. Like, hey, that's mine. Gaddafi occupied the Strip by force in 1973 when Chad was too busy fighting a crippling multi-faction civil war. To secure their position in the area, the Libyans would embark on multiple military interventions and finance anti-government rebel groups operating in northern Chad to make sure that the
it's a war in
Chadian
Africa in the 20th century. It's a clusterfuck. There is just like how many proxy conflicts going on all at the same time. It's never. Oh, it is so confusing. It's such a rabbit hole.
Government was nice and distracted with other things. Gaddafi's ultimate aims were to divide Chad in two and install a pro-Libyan regime in the Northern Territory, known broadly as the Tibesti region. This would mean that Libya's seizure of the Strip would be uncontested and that a sympathetic North Chad regime would allow him access to the supposed uranium deposits located around the Tibesti Desert.
Oh, great.
And of course, Mad Dog Gaddafi having access to uranium would never have resulted in anything good.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that we often say this, and yes, that's very much the case. I mean, enough time a crackpot dictator can forcibly attempt to teach enough scientists in his country or have them forcibly learn either nuclear fission or just splitting the atom outright to make nuclear weaponry, but that takes quite a bit of time from the ground up scratch, especially when you are being intellectual, like through intelligence, blockaded by some of the most powerful nations and with most powerful spy networks in the world against you. So,
by the turn of 1980,
essentially, he would be used for trading at that point. But then again, too, you can also use uranium not just for nuclear weaponry, like outright big explosive atomic weaponry, but like radioactive weaponry. You know, basically contaminating whole lands with radiation for shits and giggles.
It seemed that the scales were tipping in Gaddafi's favour. The 8,000-strong Libyan force in northern Chad were armed with conventional equipment and small arms imported from the Soviet Union. They also had access to armoured combat vehicles such as the BMP-1 APC, the T-55 tank, and the MiG-23 jet fighter, as well as various artillery support and combat helicopters.
The MiG-23, that was the Foxbat, right? Or is that... fuck, I'm forgetting my MiGs. I know, I should know this. I'm more interested in prop aircraft than I am with like actual fighter aircraft, so let me just look you up. My curiosity is piqued. MiG-23. It was a Foxbat, because I want to make sure I'm getting the right name. MiG-23... Foxbat? Yeah, there we go. It's a Foxbat. Oop. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, Flogger. Okay, report name Flogger or Fitter. Yeah, so it was preceded by the MiG-21, which was the famously... I know they call the MiG-21 the fish bed in some cases, but it was MiG-23. Yeah, that is the Foxbat. Okay, that's the Foxbat. All right. Hang on, let me come on over here.
When compared to Western forces at the time, these armaments were very obsolete.
Yeah.
But compared to their weaker North African neighbours, this made the Libyan army one of the most powerful forces in the entire region. They also supported a rebel group in northern Chad called the People's Armed Forces. However, when abbreviated from the original French name, it is more commonly referred to as FAP. This regiment was essentially called the Wankers. They numbered around 5,000 men and received training from East German military officers.
Oh, you love to hear it.
They would also benefit from on-ground support provided by Libya, and they also obtained arms from the Soviet Union. In stark contrast, the official military forces in southern Chad also numbered at only 5,000 men, and this area wasn't defended by a traditional army, but rather by a centralised militia group known as the Chadian National Armed Forces. And these forces were personally commanded by Chad's president himself, Hissène Habré, who had actually become very effective as a field general. However,
That's a
despite
shock.
receiving political...
It's generally a shock, 'cause you normally don't think of like an actual world leader being a generally good tactician for an army. I mean, it's never really worked out for most cases, for most despots, but hey.
Become very effective as a field general. However, despite receiving...
Francois Cornet A2, oh boy. Okay,
political support from the USA and air support.
So they are getting support from, you know, outside forces. If I'm president of Chad, I'm changing my name to Chad. No, you gotta go the full mile of Derek. Chad Thundercock. That will be your name from now on.
From the French, they had no tanks, no armoured personnel vehicles, and no mobile artillery.
Of course.
But what they did have was far more powerful than any of that junk. What they had was the Toyota Hilux.
Oh yeah.
The Hilux was the end product of a...
We got in Canada, in North America, we did get the Hilux. We had two different types of pickups, because people often confuse the Hilux for what we actually got, because we got what's called the Toyota pickup, and over here, and while it really is the Hilux, I just need to make sure my memory is fully jogged, because I know what it is. North American Hilux. I know, because we had it for about most of the 80s. We had that. We had the truck. Quickly just going through the generation. I know it was sold here. Okay. It was sold from the Fremont, California. It was assembled in Fremont, California, in Long Beach, for the 5th gen Hilux. That's the one that people typically think of, and I think this is the one that, but that's not the one that he's talking about, because the one we had before then would be the N50 or N60 platform, and the N30 and 40 in 1978. Okay, yeah. So the ones that Dank is talking here is the N30 and 40 and N50 and N60 platforms. Chassis codes. But over here, they weren't even called the Hilux, they were called, or the Helix, they were called the just Toyota pickup. For the 5th gen, which is what we famously know them at. Like, famously, that was the most common body style we think of, but they were called the Helix for only a short few years before being changed to the Toyota pickup. And that was just a workhorse truck, right? Small truck, built in many parts of the world. Two of them in 2 plants in America, of course, but it was essentially it's just an truck. It was unfortunately a dying breed of it's an an truck. It was a small, useful little truck. Mazda B2000, Ford Ranger, Nissan Hardbody. They're little workhorses. Hell, even like small Chevy C10s back when, like, just there was a once again, we know the spiel of the small pickup. Why we want the small pickup. Why we should have the small pickup. But that's just what makes it so good, is that it's such a little workhorse. And the great thing about pickups is that before the modern age of the overbloat pickup is that you can still buy work trucks that are very cut down, even from like GM in North America, but like you have to either be a fleet vehicle owner or you have to custom order and wait for nearly a year to get it if you're a private buyer, because they're trying to incentivize you to go and buy all the fancy shit for it. They're still ruggedly, for the most part, ruggedly simplistic for what you could get. I still think the best one of any just simplistic pickup post the 90s into the 2000s was the Silverado / Savannah 1500 for the 2008-2013 model year, because if you got the base model 4.8 Vortec, yeah, you're not going to go fast, but the Vortec 4.8 liter is probably one of the most reliable V8s I've ever had to deal with. It's just a workhorse. It just does not want to die. Rust will eat the truck through, but you have to, if you keep it undercoated and sprayed and just do some basic care and maintenance to it, truck will last forever, no problem. But I really wish we still had these nowadays. And I know the new incentivization with Toyota and the Trump administration is to get them, like, get small trucks built, like the new Hilux built in America again. I will take it with a grain of salt because, once again, it's still buying small trucks. Like, we're just doing trucks only still. I'm like, I want small cars. I want more hatchbacks, like 3-door hatchbacks. I want it back to the compact sports coupe of the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Like, no more of this, we only have a Halo car, sports car that no one can buy or afford. No, I want small entry-level cars that are fun to drive. That's what I want. I want to go back to the Toyota, like, if we use Toyota example, I feel like the one we should really go back to is not the Sprinter Turino. I feel like if you want to start at the ground level, Toyota should reinvigorate the Corolla back to what it used to be. And yes, keep it front-wheel drive because that's the cheaper layout, but they should do what they did, because alongside the A86, they also released something called the FX16 GTS, which was a hatchback Corolla, which was front-wheel drive, but it was still the 4A GE motor from the A86 in a transverse layout, and it was a hot little hatchback. And I feel like Toyota could theoretically, yes, they can't use the same engine or high-revving engines anymore, but they could theoretically make a lightweight, small hatchback that's fun to drive. So, as Lee Iacocca said, the great almighty, the wisdom who saved Chrysler, who helped develop the Dodge Viper, who basically marketed and sold the Mustang, make small cars that Americans want to buy. That's how you win the market. And guess what every company has done? They've hired Nepo babies, they've hired women, and they don't know how to fucking sell cars. Stellantis, nearly going bankrupt. Ford, nearly going bankrupt. Chevrolet, having massive downward woes again, getting ready to go bankrupt again. How do you sell cars? Make small cars that Americans want to buy. It's not hard, right? And this is what I want to see on the road again. Like, it could be a hybrid version of this. I don't care what it is, so long as it's fun to drive and it's lightweight. This is what I want. A Corolla GTS, in the vein of it, in the same vein of, it's a 3-door hatchback, it's small, it's not a sports halo car, the ultimate driving experience car. It's a fucking hatchback. It's got a solid rear axle in the rear, right? A solid torsion beam axle in the rear. It's not independent suspension. McPherson strut at the front. It's a small engine that's got some pep to it, and it's a lightweight chassis. Simplistic frugality on the inside. I don't give a shit. It's a commuter car. Make it fun to drive. It's not hard. That's how you sell a car. If this was like $18,000 USD, $16,000 USD, $15,000 USD for like a base model, cut down, no sunroof, no shit, no nothing, just your little tippy tap touchscreen in the middle. I don't care. I get it. The company's gonna do that. There, $15,000. This would be with a fun little motor that maybe makes like 180, 150 horsepower. In the modern day, if you kind of like just for power inflation of how motors and R&D kind of developed, yeah, fucking make this again. I don't care. This would sell like hotcakes. Just don't mark it up the wazoo. Don't let dealers be whores about it. Simple. I can save companies, and yet no one's gonna listen to me because I'm just some jackass on the internet.
Japanese car manufacturers Toyota and Hino Motors both decided to work together as they wanted a greater share in the American pickup truck market.
True.
Toyota inherited Hino's Briska truck in 1967 and used this.
Look at the little guy. It's so cute. I want that. Okay, I wouldn't. Okay, with the classic pickups, I'm never one to like, I want a classic pickup. I want to be like the old hard life, but like I see the little Japanese ones, I'm like, oh, look at the little guy. So adorable. I want to give you little head pats.
Is the basis of creating the very first Hilux in 1968. By 1978, the Hilux had been fitted with luxurious seating, wide storage space, a huge engine, and, most importantly of all, stronger and more durable components.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
me just saying that the Hilux is very strong doesn't really mean anything, especially in a world where a lot of cars just fall apart if you sneeze on them too hard.
Here's a little thing everyone should know about this. In the 90s, when GM was releasing Saturn, and by the way, I love Saturn. Saturn was a great concept for the initial concept of Saturn. It was a domestic import car company, but the thing was, it was the Saturn family people's car. We're making a car that you buy off the lot as priced, as marketed. It's a friendly, no hassle. We're all lovey-dovey. It was a very friendly, jolly, golly gee willikers type mentality to buying cars. And the problem is with Saturn, I believe it was either the SL1 coupes or SL2 coupes. Hey, really off subject question. Have you ever seen the film Kelly's Heroes? Yeah, I've seen a bit of it. I know the scene. I know the paint cannon scene, and I know a few other scenes from it. But yeah, I know Kelly's Heroes. But anyways, I was saying though is that my thing personally is that the thing what I know about the Saturn is that I believe it's the SL1 or SL2 cars, or S1 platform, S2 platform. There was the S1 platform, yeah, S1. The first Saturn cars. Is that from fact? No, it was the S2. It was S2. Is that when they initially tested the car, they all do it typically they do a lot of car tests in either Detroit or California for United States manufacturers. That's why Tesla bros were like, the factory spec says it can handle this, it can do this, but when it goes into frigid temperatures, Teslas tend to crap out or lose range and power. It's like because temperature affects lithium batteries. Temperature affects the materials you use for this, for the battery cells. Like it's just what happens, right? But what happened was with Saturn is that was the complete opposite effect, where Saturn famously uses plastic molded body pieces for the body panels. And these wouldn't rust, but the frame was still made of aluminum or metal, or was still made of steel. The thing is, the problem with these plastic pieces is that they were adhered to the frame, which doesn't sound like a big deal until it got into Arizona weather, or high moisture weather, but with high temps like Florida. And what happened is that the actual body panels would fall off the car if it was in the sun for too long. And what happened is that GM had to then make a couple different adhesion compounds and take the cars and drive them out in the middle of the Californian desert and let them cook in the sun for like hours on end to see which compound would stick. And they finally said, well, we got one that finally works. So I guess my whole tangent on this was like, yeah, just because something says it's durable or it's like new, we like on dang time about fragility and stuff like that, it's like it's been kind of around for a while, but the severity of it nowadays is especially noticeable because a lot of the molding you see for front bumper fascias and rear bumper fascias are just plastic, which they're dent proof in quotation, but they puncture easily. You know the paint can scene? All right, didn't you see from Film First or Girls in Panzer? Take a wild guess, Derek. Take a wild guess where I saw it first. Okay? Take a wild guess.
But the Helix has been considered as so strong that many car enthusiasts basically...
Okay, and all credit though, Derek, I did watch Monty Python before they reenacted the spam Viking scene in Girls in Panzer. So, give me credit where credit's due. You follow? Yeah. I also knew a lot of the movie references they were doing in Girls in Panzer as well. So yeah.
Call it. the Nokia of trucks. Around 2010, Jeremy Clarkson from the BBC show Top Gear attempted to destroy a Hilux by launching it into the sea, smacking it around with a wrecking ball, and then finally setting the thing on fire.
Alright lads, tonight on Bottom Gear. Richard Hammond tries to escape the Albanian authorities for smuggling 5 kilograms of cocaine. James May evades taxes and is being sought after by the IRS. And I flip over a reasonably priced car.
Amazingly, despite coming out looking like this,
yep,
the Hilux was
the king of the castle right here. And I remember this, just because a body or chassis of a vehicle is fucked up does not mean mechanically, and if it can preserve its mechanical function, it still can be drivable. Like, I get the damage looks ostensibly insane, like just catastrophic. I can still see the radiator right here. It's perfectly preserved, right? Mechanically, it still functions. Its chassis was not twisted, right? So still the drivetrain, everything, it's still all the way tacked down the driveline, all the way to the rear differential. It all just works, okay? It just mechanically works. That's all you need to know. You know how many shit boxes I've seen that are rusted out beyond reproach, should not be on the road, but still run like a watch, because they just, their mechanics are like, they're mechanically just still simplistically bulletproof. They just keep going and going and going despite the whole body giving out around them.
Still able to start and drive around like nothing had happened.
Yeah.
Later in 1986, the rebels from...
The only time I've ever seen a vehicle that is mechanically and physically, and like it's both chassis and body and mechanics are perfectly preserved after years of salt abuse and just neglect, has been Volvos. And not even just like, oh, the classic Volvos. No, P1 Volvos, white block Volvos. I've seen S40s being the shit out of, and these are the 2.4 liter ones. These are like the non-turbo 5-cylinders, and they're still fucking going. I don't know how. Like, civilizations like Ozymandias. Like, if you were to have fucking the poem Ozymandias, 2 of the narrators left would be at Volvo S40 2.4i sitting in that fucking sand. And it would still get a turn over and run if he just hopped into it.
FAP ended up defecting to President Habre after numerous defeats and tensions between them and Gaddafi. Habre welcomed...
If you set a Volvo on fire, the fire will go out before the Volvo dies, and the Volvo will just turn right over the moment you hop into it.
The wankers with open arms, which brought his fighting force up to 10,000 experienced men who now benefited from a unified and motivated command structure. This meant that the 2 main Libyan army units who were positioned within separate parts of Tibesti were now completely stranded. And what made things worse was they had no unified command structure or grand strategy.
Oh no.
And now that FAP had switched sides, they had also lost their vital reconnaissance forces and military intelligence for the areas that they were trying to hold. But despite these massive disadvantages, Gaddafi wanted to retain control over the region, and so decided to keep his forces in the area as they were. He believed that even if they had support from the French Air Force, the United Chadian Army would be easily swatted away by his superior weaponry.
Right.
However, Gaddafi was heavily underestimating the skill and resolve of Chad's commanders, who were now preparing for a lightning counter-offensive to take their country back. Knowing that the French Air Force would provide them with effective cover from aerial attacks, the Chads fitted their new Toyotas with heavy machine guns, artillery, and anti-aircraft guns.
You love to see it. you love to see the ship. I know. Wasn't it Brendan Herrera? No, it was it Herrera or is it Donut Operator that has a replica Toyota? Well, they took their Toyota Tacoma, their first gen Tacoma, and they made it look like a military Hilux, because technically we are. If you wonder why the truck market's is so fucked up in North America for the used trucks, because a lot of them get bought up in bulk off fleet yards when they could be easily, resold to like private buyers for a bargain. But fleet yards will get in contact, or robbers will also, like car thieves and carjackers, will have contacts to exporters and many harbors across North America to take these trucks and load them up in mass onto ships that go out to the Middle East or go out to Southeast Asia, and they'll basically redistribute the trucks amongst many warlords for a bargain. You can still see stolen trucks from contractors that have their plumbing or building company logo on the side still plastered on it in the middle of an ISIS propaganda video. I'm not kidding you.
With their
I recognize some of the construction companies that are on those trucks, because I know them from firsthand experience, from like working with those construction companies.
Chads would launch their new campaign on the 2nd of January 1987, formally beginning the Toyota War. Over the next 3 months, the demotivated and unorganized Libyan forces found themselves getting enveloped by this massive Chadian army from completely out of nowhere. And what frightened them even more was seeing their APCs and tanks, which were supposed to give them protection, being completely wiped out by a bunch of madmen in pickup trucks. And to top it all off, hardly any of their armoured vehicles were able to land a single hit on the attacking trucks themselves, because trucks are a lot more mobile than tanks and can move pretty quickly, making them a lot harder to hit. So by the end of March, Chad's troops had forced a complete rout of the Libyan forces from the Tibesti region. In fact, the Libyans were so desperate to escape that they left behind entire tank divisions, and the Chadians just sort of went, thanks for the free tanks.
Y'all treat this like it's a fucking, like... Some people call it, strategic capturing. Nah, son. Free tanks.
This leads to a glaring question. How the hell did they manage that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's many combined factors which gave Chad's army a massive advantage over the Libyans on the battlefield. Chad's commanders made effective use of diversionary tactics in many of the battles for northern Chad. Typically, they would amass a large force in one area to make the Libyans focus their complete attention in that direction.
Right.
Then, when the time was right, a massive flanking force would quickly swing behind the Libyans, using the Toyotas as lightning-fast troop carriers. These troops, taking advantage of their surprise attack and the mounted machine guns on their trucks, would then completely wipe out the Libyan garrison. Because the trucks were so sturdy and so durable, they were able to carry large numbers of men without slowing down, with the desert sands and extreme heat having no negative impact on the engine's performance. But you will probably still be wondering how the Toyotas were able to destroy Libya's heavily armoured vehicles. I mean, fair enough, transporting troops and carrying mounted machine guns can easily wipe out some infantry. But how could a truck that most people use to go to the shops manage to face off against an entire tank division? Well, thanks to the air support provided by France, Libyan planes were unable to conduct bombing runs against Chad's lightly armoured trucks. This meant that they could focus their complete attention on Libya's infantry, helicopters and tanks. Again, because the Toyotas were so durable, the massive recoil from the anti-air guns and artillery mounted on them didn't rip the trucks apart or affect...
And here's something you gotta remember too, is that you can, and very simply, these were not... trucks typically have solid rear axles, okay? A solid rear axle suspension. And they typically use leaf springs for said rear suspension. So you have the shocks, which go, yes, to the, shock absorbers to, to absorb the majority of the shock from the road, but primarily, in layman's terms, you have what runs parallel along underneath the truck is the multi-link leaf spring stack. You'll see these. And depending on the weight or carrying, you can go up to a certain amount of springs in the stack, and they get gradually larger up the stack as they go. And these metal compressed springs can basically, the more you add, the stronger but also more lifted the rear becomes. So when you have a really heavy piece of weaponry on the back with a lot of recoil, if the truck was unladen, it'd be sitting at a nosed over stanced angle, or sorry, it would be at a massive staggered angle if you were to adjust and modify the suspension. You add these leaf springs, multi-link leaf springs to it, add more of them, it will become more raised, but when you add the weight of the weaponry to it, it basically balances out the truck. Or if it kind of gives it a bit more of a rearward angle to it. And also it puts more weight on the rear drive wheels, which gives more grip to when you're driving them, essentially, just so you have better grip to the ground. But the things with these multi-link steel springs is they're stupidly cheap for suspension type, and they are also very easy to fabricate or get your hands on. Fabrication doesn't always get the job done as well as, properly buying one, but from a factory or a manufacturer. But when you do have one on the field like these guys did, it won't be comfortable, but it will fucking take the shock of what you're throwing at it, especially the recoil. And if you look at the Chadians, or the more organized, if you will, African or Middle Eastern militias or armies, they tend to do this while others will just roll whatever the fuck is at it, and they don't care if the rear suspension caves in or if it just gives out on them, right? Because to them it's just a workhorse. Can it drive? Fuck it.
Take their mobility in any serious way. So when an attack helicopter ever approached, the Chad AA guns were able to shower them in a hail of bullets, whilst weaving the trucks back and forth to succeed.
And you gotta remember, the helicopters the Libyans were using at the time, very common in Africa because of the Soviet influence, is the one attack helicopter. I can't remember its name right now, but it had rearward firing rockets. So if you were ahead of the helicopter, you'd be capable to survive it. That's why the guys who made Wakali Wood, the creator of Wakali Wood, or main founder, and his friend, when they did the shooting, for Who Killed Captain Alex, the reason why they made the helicopters always chasing them, it's aren't helicopters faster than people? It's well, why are they trying to stay ahead of the helicopter? That sounds stupid. It's an attack helicopter. Well, it's because these helicopters specifically would fire backwards at crowds on the ground from what he was used to during that civil war and that period of warfare when he was growing up in Wakali Wood, in Uganda. It was basically, that's what they knew. So if they could keep ahead of the helicopters, fire on them when they're coming at them, they weren't able to be from behind and line up a shot at them. So it basically did the work for them if they were to keep ahead of them in this case.
Successfully avoid the returning fire. Unfortunately, there is no footage of this combat, but if there was, it would be getting dubbed over with gas, gas, gas.
Rest in peace, Manuel. Rest in power, Manuel. I'll see you, Road Cowboy. Rest in horsepower. For those of you who don't know, it's been a year, maybe 2 years at this point now, but famed Eurobeat artist Manuel, maker of Gas, 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 Adrenaline, Summer in the Rain, one of the premier Eurobeat artists behind Dave Rogers, died of cancer. And I think it was the first singer death of my lifetime that actually affected me, where I did have some slight tears coming out my eye because I love Manuel. I love Eurobeat. And Manuel's death. Yeah, rip Manuel. Yeah, no, I actually shed a few tears when Manuel died. He had some really good tracks, but it was just a shame to hear him go, especially the way he died. He went out quietly because, you know, it wasn't really he wasn't, you know, a massive celebrity or singer, but he went out quietly, but it was still a massive shock to the Eurobeat scene because surprisingly, despite what people may not know, but a lot of Eurobeat artists have multiple pseudonyms in the scene where they'll have different names. They can play with different styles of Eurobeat within the Eurobeat scene. Dave Rogers kind of stuck with the one, but like there's ones like Vicky Vale who also portray themselves as a different, like multiple different artist names. Now they all go underneath these pseudonyms and they all kind of mesh and mosh with each other. They mesh with each other, or something they'll do conjoined projects like Dark Angels, which is a mix between, I forget the two artists, but like they all kind of just go about. So Manuel was one of the few that kept his original name, that kept the original like pseudonym he had, but then just kind of when he died, it was very quiet, but it was a massive shock. It's like he was one of the premier figureheads of the scene. When Dave Rogers goes, that's going to be a massive, massive hit to the scene as well. Yeah. The unfortunate thing too is that with Eurobeat is that like there are new artists that pop up every so often, but there's not really been that good of a new artist like Sinclair or Manuel or Dave Rogers. Like Dave Rogers is more pop than anything else, but like when you get to like, or Nathalie or once again Vicky Vale, like they're not as, they haven't really taken the stand as big as some of the others like Dejo or any other guys. They even Super European, like it just doesn't, there's nothing really new in 2025 that's like out there. It's not as, there's nothing really as fresh.
And because the Libyan tanks had very low maneuverability and were very slow at taking aim, Chad's Toyotas were able to keep darting to different positions around the tank and repeatedly shell them with their anti-tank guns. The tanks didn't have a hope in hell of landing a hit.
No.
Another advantage which took both sides completely by surprise was the fact that the Toyotas were completely impervious to Libyan landmines. Because the trucks were so fast and light compared to traditional army vehicles, the trigger systems of the mines simply didn't activate. So Chad's troops just drove straight through the minefields and straight through the Libyan defences to the absolute horror of the occupying garrisons.
Cowabunga it is.
The Toyotas were also a much more sustainable alternative to conventional military vehicles, as they were quicker to deploy, cheaper to refuel, and easier to replace.
Yeah.
This meant that the Chadian army would never have to worry about a shortage of fire support.
Is this the same reason? Is this the same philosophy behind the A37 Dragonfly or Super Tweez they called it? The because it was a former jet trainer aircraft, and it had such a low stall speed for a jet, but had that acceleration of a jet. It was a really good ground attack platform, and then for like, was it like $132,000 or $225,000 one unit cost and then you can fully load it up with like how many different forms of armaments. And they found the Vietnam War was like one of the best ground attack aircraft in the war, like to have and operate. And then the U.S., you know, the Pentagon being the Pentagon, and you know we gotta make more for the military industrial complex. Said this is great, let's fucking get rid of it and build the A-10 Warthog. Which the A-10, yes, it's a rugged platform and it's done great for its time as well. But most the handiwork of the A-10 is really because it's low stall speed, and while it's stupidly expensive, it's also very rugged and high survivability. But the Gatling gun, the GAU, doesn't really do much in terms of the kill ratio. It was the most of the kills the A-10 has underneath its belt seems to be mainly from the missile systems it has on it, or the bombs, or you know, the bombs it often carries is what does the work more than the actual GAU gun. The GAU is mostly used as a terror or a morale booster, and then like fuck.
whenever they conducted a major battle.
Like if you want a good example of that Gal gun being used, look at the fucking AC-130 Spooky. Like that's where you want it to be used on, like on a more accurate platform like the Spooky.
Also, to repair them, you didn't need a highly trained military engineer. You could just take the thing down to quick fit. So with this massive victory under their belt, Chad's commanders wanted to go all in and completely retake the Ayuzu Strip, the last remaining piece of occupied Chad. They began this operation in late July, and only after a few weeks of fighting, they had managed to completely retake the strip by the 8th of August, 1987. Using Toyotas. However, this completely alarmed the French, who only wanted to expel the Libyans from the occupied areas of Chad. Basically, they were worried that getting involved in the territorial dispute would turn a proxy war into an open conflict with Libya itself. So the French decided to pull out all of their air support from Chad, which meant that the Libyans had regained their area.
Because here's the thing, when you have air superiority and then all you gotta worry about is the ground crew, then great, the Toyotas become the hero of the story, but when you got fast fire jets mowing you down and ground attacking and ready to hop on your ass, well, those Toyotas become a lot slower when you're going up against a ground attack aircraft.
Advantage. By using a combination of bombing runs and deciding to fight fire with fire, using modified Toyotas themselves, the Libyan army.
What would be the mech equivalent of a Toyota? Charlemagne, you're asking the wrong guy, because here's the thing. I know chicks dig giant robots. I'm not much of a mech guy when it comes to sci-fi weaponry. I said before, I like my Sento Ferry Yukikaze. I like Sento Ferry Yukikaze, which is Battle Angel Yukikaze, the jet fighting anime, anime, but mainly novel. For me, from Macross, I don't like the mecha elements of it. I like, Zaku. Let's say fucking Zaku. I'm not a, you know more about Gundam than I do. If we're gonna say Zaku, probably. It was probably the most, because I know it was the most mass-produced of the Gundam, in the Gundam universe. So, Zaku, probably. No problem. It's mass-produced, it's cheap, and it's reliable. Right? That's it.
He's out of the strip only a few days after they had taken it. Though they were now on the back foot, this didn't deter Chad's commanders from wanting to retake the entire strip again. They knew that if they didn't do something about the Libyan fighter jets, they could eventually be pushed back across the desert. So they came up with a daring plan to raid the Matanas Sara air base. This was the primary base of operation for Gaddafi's air force, and it was located 200 miles deep into Libyan territory. On the 5th of September 1987, a sizable number of Chadian troops sped off in their Toyotas and managed to reach the airfield.
The idea of Africans piloting cheap mechs is very funny. Have you seen the compilations of African engineering when it comes to aircraft, Charlemagne? We're gonna pause Danky here. I want to show you that. Here, we'll go over it because you just need to see this to believe it. African engineering. Let me go. African engineering aircraft compilation. You gotta see this. So a bunch of like African airplanes, when they build their aircraft, or like when hobbyists, I shouldn't say like actual manufacturers or governments build their aircraft, but when the Africans build flying contraptions, like it's still the early 20th century, which, you know, kudos. I mean, don't let your dreams be dreams, right? You get some interesting little things that happen. In 240p, of course. The African Air Force.
He dreams of soaring with the birds in an aircraft built...
This is Junta Hughes.
Built with his own 2 hands. 12 other aircrafts he has built before have all failed to take off. He hopes things will
Howard
be
Hughes has got nothing on these
the
guys.
13th time. The engines
Holy
roar
shit.
to life, and then Upendo is out of his hands, and down what passes as a runway.
I was so... Like, he's...
For a few glorious seconds, Upendo...
Okay, they're even using ramps to take... This is the worst thing to imagine. I just forgot to upgrade them. I just slap on anti-air. Oh look, it's my Air Force where I play Hearts of Iron 4. Jesus Christ. Last stream, I was talking with Chipaso here, and we were talking about First World War aviation, and you gotta remember, like that, like how primitive it was, and how, like, yeah, we often think of the more famous First World War aircraft, but when you see early First World War aircraft, they're like 1914, it's like, holy shit, this looks even primitive in comparison to the Sopwith Camel or the Albatross D3 or the Fokker DR1 triplane. Like, but like, I'm giving credit here for some parts of, like, you know, yeah, they had literal jousting with pistols. Motherfucker, early pilots even just shoot each other with pistols. Some of those motherfuckers brought rocks into their aircraft to chuck at the enemy. There was actually a case of pilots throwing rocks at each other, because the early scout aircraft would only go like, what, 53 miles per hour, 60 miles per hour, 68 miles per hour. Like, they were slow. So, and that's their top speed, not when they were diving and swooping at each other. They're going much slower. No, let's be honest, that is metal as fuck. Yeah, that is pretty funny. But the problem is, what I'm seeing here is, like, if you have to get a ramp involved for your aircraft to take flight, you already lost the plot, man. You're just putting yourself into a glorified paraglider and you're about to go down.
It is airborne, and then it crashes to the ground.
His friends are laughing.
Dashed. 13 is not a lucky number after all.
He's trying. What the fuck is the... The Somali B2 spirit. The Somali B2 spirit is right here. This is beautiful.
And when the time came, the homemade plane was towered by a car to gain the
He's got a
required
pusher
speed
design
to take
too.
off,
This is awesome.
but seems to be more obsessed with the ground than the air, failing to take off.
Oh no. Oh no.
We had our first test flight on 26th of November.
Okay, this actually looks more like an aircraft than anything else so far. Yeah. Okay, the problem is... Actually, I'm not gonna say what the problem is. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut.
We tested the speed of the aircraft and it was okay. But we had some little hitches with the engine, so we are seeking for funds.
He's got more understanding of aero
the corporate bodies,
design than most of the other, like, hobbyists do. So kudos to him on that part. It's just construction of the wings is not the best in terms of fabric, pulling fabric over him pulling the fabric over. It's pretty rough.
Other institutions who are willing to come on board so that will help us develop this aircraft.
Uh-oh.
I've been having dreams of flying ever since I was young. But
you know what? Good on these guys though. It is a hobbyist thing. But back to the Tankula. We're gonna stop watching the Somali Air Force for a couple seconds now.
Completely undetected. They then proceeded to raise as much hell as they could, stealing any equipment and vehicles they could get their hands on, and completely destroying everything else.
Oh yeah.
The raid was a complete success, resulting in the destruction of 32 aircraft, 1,000 Libyan troops killed, and 300 being taken as POWs. In fact, the operation was such a success that the French feared a full-on Chadian invasion of Libya itself,
Chad.
which would heavily
A
disrupt
Chad
the balance
invasion,
of
if you
power
will.
in North Africa. So on the 11th of September 1987, France managed to convince Chad's leadership into signing a ceasefire with Libya. This not only ended the Toyota War, but also the decades-long conflict between Chad and Libya itself. After the ceasefire, the dispute over the Ayuzu Strip was settled by the International Court of Justice in 1994. They found that the strip rightfully belonged to Chad, which Gaddafi agreed to hand over, probably because he didn't want to be made a complete laughingstock
Hey,
on
Charlemagne?
the international stage again.
Charlemagne, if you're still in chat, I just saw what you posted of Serena.
So with that, Chad had officially won the Toyota War.
Of course they did.
The total losses for Libya amounted to about 8,000 dead troops and about $1.5 billion in lost or destroyed military equipment. By comparison, Chad only lost about 1,000 men and a handful of Toyotas. The fact that a relatively unstructured and under-equipped army managed to beat one of the strongest military powers in North Africa, armed with just a bunch of pickup trucks, sent shockwaves across the region. To this day, governments alongside paramilitary and terrorist groups throughout the Middle East and Africa have been importing as many Toyota Hiluxes as they can due to their continued strength and reliability.
This is why I can't afford a truck, because these motherfuckers keep taking all of them. I just wanted a cheap work truck for myself.
In fact, their prolific use in these regions have caused observers to describe the Toyota Hilux as the war chariot of the third world. The demand for these trucks has gotten so high that it's created an entire black market for illegally imported trucks in much of the Middle East. Scammers have even been creating counterfeit Hiluxes
what?
to make some quick cash.
I'm sorry, what? Where do I buy one? I don't care if it's a fucking knockoff. Okay, well, scammers building. I don't give a shit if it's a knockoff, but it's still the same quality in quotation marks with replica engines. I might take a gander for 1,000 or 2. I might take the risk. I risk it for the biscuit.
Enough to buy them. There are even companies who custom make heavily armoured vehicles which look exactly like a Hilux. These are for use by government officials in the third world to pass through their country undetected and protect them from attacks by terrorists or assassins. One thing that I was constantly asking myself when I was reading up on the Toyota War.
H250V, it does. Yes, I see it, and I saw what you posted, Charlemagne. And there she goes in the ticker again.
What was Toyota's response to all of this? Well, a US spokesperson for Toyota had apparently responded to a similar question put to him a few years ago. He simply stated that they are used by civilians and governments alike, including the military and rebel groups. They are popular for a multitude of uses. It was treated as good advertising. The new Toyota Hilux 4-door.
Listen. You take what you can. You take what you damn well can. Right? I don't give a shit how much Elon tries to hype up his shit. I don't give a shit how much, like, it was Cybertruck. It was a bulletproof glass. Oh, the new Roadster that is yet to come out after 7 years. I was like the fastest 0-60 we've ever seen in a production car of all time, and all this other shit. You don't need that, right? You just need someone to wild out, and everyone's gonna want to buy it.
cab with a D4D diesel engine that provides 32 miles per gallon and is resistant to small arms fire. It can reach 62 miles per hour in just 10 seconds, making it a lot easier to outrun the targeting laser of a tow missile system. It also has luxury leather upholstery, which is wide.
I feel like that's what people forget with the Toyota Hiluxes though, is that I know Dank's reading off them. The Hilux, which of course we don't have, in Europe has the diesel engine, which Dank is saying again, and because Europe for the longest time was the only who swallowed the diesel pill for like. Yes, there are diesel trucks in the United States, but like for diesel every fucking thing, Europe swallowed that pill. Which diesel isn't bad per se, it's just not even most of Asia bought into it. Not even really Asia, a lot of Asia bought into it, and the Japanese especially just were like, ugh, they hand waved it away. The petrol Hiluxes aren't bad, but they're relatively the same power output as like a Colorado or, you know, like the half trucks that GM makes, but like they're still they look like the Marwoods look like the half truck that GM makes, but they're interesting per se. Is diesel any good? Well, diesel has different maintenance factors and different intervals than most petrol engines would have. I mean, you have to do the DEF fluid filter, you know, the diesel exhaust filter. You have to change that fluid constantly to also drain it. It's pretty corrosive actually. You have to worry about, you know, the fuel filters. Sometimes they have 3 fuel filters. They could also just have 1 in some vehicles. Oil changes are extended, but the oil is pretty gnarly when you get it out. However, diesels are just more rugged, and they also get better miles per gallon, and also have pretty good torque for like when you need to haul. So that's what typically diesels have. But if you want just like great mileage, plenty of torque, especially when it comes to turbo diesels, when you want to tune them up. I mean, there are hot hatches in Europe that are turbo diesels that, with some baseline tuning and basic mods, the Volvo D5 turbos, diesel turbos they have over there, I've seen 400 foot-pounds of torque after like a couple like basically a plug and play tune and a couple basic modifications. I've seen insane amount of torque gains from them. They don't make a lot of horsepower, but they fuck their torquey little motors. But if you're talking about just like for like economical use, yeah, no, they're pretty economical. They're just boring, I guess, for the most part. I mean, it's a diesel engine after all. It's got a long stroke, so it's not going to really rev high. It's not going to be terribly fast in revolutions. Sorry, when it comes to revving or response, but you know, if you want to haul stuff, you want a good, great MPG. There's diesel. It's just diesel, unfortunately, now is very expensive too, so it's kind of negated the factor of what it kind of was. Outside of that, they'd still get really good mileage.
Handy for when you don't outrun the tow missile system, for picking up your kids from school, or toppling a government. The Toyota Hilux. Anti-aircraft guns sold separately. But the main takeaway from this story is that it turns out Toyota Hiluxes can be very effective against a well-equipped army.
Inshallah.
I just thought you should know.
Always remember that.
It's Count Dankula on YouTube! Everybody subscribe!
Noise. Yeah, that was a great Danky video. But yeah, I mean, personally, my opinion on diesel, it's not my thing, but I always know definitely the advantages it has. I've always known the advantages. I've always, you know, given the thumbs up to the advantages. I also simultaneously just kind of shrug it off because it's not really my interest. So yeah, maybe we might watch one more video and I might call it a night, because I'm getting a little tired, a little sleepy. What to do? What can we do? Something that's good or something that's fun to watch? Don't want to go down memory lane. What is there? Trying to think of what do I want to see. No, we recovered that. I don't want to do anything that's like current thing or politics. It's Christmas. Like, I don't want to deal with that. We could watch a video about I could do a car video. Like an actual car video. Opinion of the Discord of the hilarious outro. Thank you for the Rambo 3-headed. Regards to aging poorly. They also did make it a bit more appropriate. Oh yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it. I know about that. I know about that outro credits. I'm very aware of it. The fuck is this? Yeah, no, let's do it on actually on something I enjoy. I was gonna say, should we talk about the Mini Cooper, but might be a good story to watch. But that might be a little too boring for some, maybe too drab. It's not, it's a picture, not a clip. No, I know of the picture. It's just like, I've seen the actual, like, end credits to Rambo with the original in my lifetime. I've seen it before. It's just kind of interesting. Trying to think of what we should do right now, because, like, I want to cover something interesting. I don't want to get copyright struck. That might take a little too long, but I don't know what to do. We can talk about the history of Coke Santa Claus. Well, let me find a good video on that. Santa Claus, because I know the story of, I know how, like, the modern Santa was made from the fact that he was the modern Santa iconography we know was founded through Coca-Cola. I think pre-World War II, just because it was, you know, the red, white holiday colors matched the Coca-Cola's new branding motif they want to go with the red and white branding, and it was easier to sell that way, especially as Coke during the Second World War, when Coke began to become worldwide through distribution through the U.S. Army, that it basically became rebranded and became Santa we know today instead of old Saint Nick. Oh, this is gonna look soy. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to. I might do Simon Whistler, because I don't want to see this soy face on my stream. DC. There we go. Okay, we'll do this one, and we'll call it a night after this. Gonna have to get rid of the subtitles though, because I like reading, but I'm not gonna do that to you guys. Do. Like, they didn't really, like, once again, people like to use the catch-all. Coca-Cola invented Santa Claus as a way to, like, you know, to really be more against the holiday season, and as, you know, especially because we all know how commercialized it's gone. It's always being this commercialized for over nearly a century. I mean, fucking hell, Dr. Seuss wrote The Grinch because he made The Grinch about himself, because he himself was so demoralized with Christmas being so commercialized, even back when he wrote The Grinch initially in the early 1960s. And that was then. Like, Charlie Brown Christmas was also about how commercialized Christmas is, right? Because it is I know the solstice holiday of Christmas before the pagans, and then you talk about the actual birth of Christ. It was actually on a different day, and of course the history just. And Saint Nick himself, like Saint Nicholas himself, being the patron saint of horrors, and equally being one to give charity and goodwill during the coldest time of the year, became the iconography for Christmas, is how we saw today. I don't like Christmas songs. Charlotte, well, here's the thing. I like Christmas songs that are more classic. When it comes to, like, modernist stuff, I'm fine with, like, Vince Guaraldi, Bing Crosby. Right, if it's not just like, we put Christmas 1,000 times and it's Christmas and it's Christmas. No, fuck off, okay? Right, I know one of the most annoying Christmas songs was, of course, Santa Baby. Anyway, I'm sleeping. Merry Christmas, Sean. I know Santa Baby is one of the most annoying Christmas songs in the world, but admittedly, when you look into it, it's basically a satire of how materialistic everything was, and considering that it was sung by Sabadon, Christmas Trees, and Trans-Siberian Orchestra, Wizards in Winter, definitely those are also good modern ones. But like how Santa Baby, you know, being as stupid as it is, was once again made from satire, and Irva Kitt did it because young Irva Kitt was admittedly attractive, but she also was a great singer. And she also was in on the joke of it being basically again, it's weird it being raunchy, but it's also a parody of everything about it. So it was initially a parody that got taken seriously, unfortunately. But when it comes to Christmas music, I just, you know, for the most part, I have a very select of what I like. But yeah, now but like going back to Saint Nick himself, is like Saint Nick. I mean, if we try, like, ideally, you see with the Western culture, unfortunately, is that everything that made European culture, or especially Christianity or Christian culture in general, has to always be demonized and demoralized and deconstructed because it's an acceptable target. But I will not withstand any more of the talking of, it's a pagan holiday, don't you know? Or, oh, Saint Nick was the patron saint of horrors, or, well, Santa was actually invented by Coca-Cola. No, there's there's nuances, and there's equally too, it's a tradition that was celebrated throughout centuries, and I'm part of that. I'm part of that bloodline that's celebrated, and damn well I'm going to preserve the more traditional side of it. Okay, I'm not going to fall for the faux festivities, the faux commercialization. I will stick to as close as I can, with my own accordance, to the tradition of what I know it to be. Okay.
He sees you when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So be good, for goodness sake. If you live in the Western world, you already know this line from Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Harry Connick Jr. We've all heard the songs and seen the movies, but you may not know the true story behind the legend of the man who can fly around the world in just a single night. And you might now be wondering, why am I wearing a hat that is not a Santa Claus hat? And that is because for this very special Christmas video, I wanted to get a Santa Claus hat, but apparently I have a giant head, and this Christmas tree hat was the only thing that would fit me. I'm going to take this off, and we're going to get on with today's video. Nicholas of Bari was born in the 4th century in the town of Myra, located in Asia Minor. This is now modern-day Turkey. His parents were wealthy Christians who had trouble conceiving a child for many years. They prayed to God every day to have a child of their very own, and as soon as they finally conceived and gave birth to a son, they saw it as truly a miracle. Sadly, Nicholas's parents, they would die of an epidemic that had spread throughout the city of Myra, leaving him to become a young orphan. He was raised by his uncle, who was the Bishop of Myra, who had never had children of his own. He was very proud of his nephew, especially when he grew up to be a very well-behaved boy. His uncle apparently announced to everyone in the church that he had a vision that his nephew would grow up to bring joy to many people. When Nicholas grew up, his uncle's prophecy actually did come true. He was always kind to others and went out of his way to help people. As an orphan, Nicholas had a special place in his heart for children, and he would often help them make handmade toys to play with. Even though he was from a wealthy family, he still had a lot of sympathy for the poor, and he wanted to do whatever he could to help. There was a man in the town who had 3 beautiful daughters, but he was so poor he could not pay for a dowry. This meant that his daughters could not get married, and they would have to be sold.
May Allah forgive me, but Santa Claus is, mashallah, a Turk.
To slavery because the father could not afford to support them. Nicholas wanted to help, but he did not want to hurt the father's pride.
You know who else was well, okay. Ethnically, was he Turkish? We don't know that. Because you know who else was born in Turkey? Charles VIII, Carolus Rex, was born in Turkey and was raised in Turkey for a bit. Because the Catholic Church and had a lot of ties as sanctuary, as one of the forefronts against the Calification of Europe from the Muslim invading forces. And the in Turkey, the way we know it today, was at the forefront as the vanguard to protect most of Europe through the passageway into mainland Europe, or into main Europe.
Face to face. So he dropped a bag of gold down the chimney, which landed in their stockings that were hanging up to dry. The father and his daughters, they jumped for joy, believing that God had finally answered their prayers. He was finally able to pay for the dowry, and his oldest daughter went on to get married. Nicholas came back to do this again for the two younger daughters, which is when he was caught in the act. Everyone knew this gold wasn't just appearing out of thin air, and people began to whisper around town about young Nicholas and his kind heart and his generosity. Nicholas was a very simple person who didn't need a lot to be happy, and the money didn't mean much to him. But he knew that his donations could be life-changing for other families in Myra. He decided to continue paying attention to people who needed the most help in the city, and he would always anonymously give away his inheritance to other people. After this story spread around town, people began to leave their stockings and shoes by the fireplace in hopes that they would receive gold from Nicholas as well. Soon after this, people throughout the city of Myra were receiving anonymous presents that would mysteriously appear in their homes. This sparked a spirit of giving, and neighbors were now helping out one another in their time of need without fear of hurting their pride. Anytime an anonymous gift would show up, they decided to thank Nicholas, even if he wasn't the one to actually deliver every single present. People began a rumor that since this man seemed to be able to be in many places at once, he was more than just a devout Christian man. They believed that he had been blessed with magical powers. Now he truly did begin to travel across Turkey, and he reached a point where he had given away all of his earthly possessions, which was totally fine with him. He, at that point, devoted his life to becoming a monk. We know with absolute certainty that Nicholas truly was a real person, because he grew up to take over his uncle's position as the next Bishop of Myra. There are records of his participation in the First Council of Nicaea, including his outspoken outrage over the corruption that he saw within the Catholic Church. In one story, Nicholas witnessed a horrific scene where children had been kidnapped.
That is gutsy. That is gutsy considering the time period. That is... Not a boy.
He was then able to rescue them. He was seen as such a holy man that he was later canonized as Saint Nicholas, the patron saint of children and, surprisingly, sailors. That's right, St. Nick loved to travel even back then. He sailed along the coasts of Asia Minor and dreamed of seeing the entire planet. For years to come, sailors would continue to pray to St. Nicholas to help them whenever they were on a long voyage. Legend has it that one day Turkish sailors were out at sea, and the wind and waves were so strong that the men were afraid that the boat would capsize. They prayed to St. Nicholas for help, and he appeared before them with his arms outstretched. He was able to control the weather and calmed the ocean, and the sailors made it home safely. This was just one of the many examples of the stories of St. Nick's extraordinary magical powers, and it just may be a good explanation of how Santa manages to travel in his sleigh through all kinds of weather. The fantastical stories of St. Nicholas lasted for longer than just...
By the way, are you familiar with the cartoon film that retold St. Nick's life, but also had wood spirits and elves? No, I should probably watch it sometime. Sounds interesting.
One lifetime. His story continued to go on for another 1,000 years. It would seem that the magic behind his generosity was so inspiring and powerful, it was enough to keep him alive in the hearts of mankind for generations to come.
Life and Times of Santa Claus? Oh, okay.
From the 4th to the 16th centuries, Nicholas became one of the most popular Catholic saints. People continued to pray to him, wishing for his help in their time of need. As time went on, he preferred to receive letters rather than prayers. It was probably much easier for him to keep records this way. Stories of St. Nick's magic and generosity began to spread throughout the rest of the world. In the Netherlands, Belgium, and Switzerland, children began to leave their shoes outside on St. Nicholas Day so that the jolly Sinterklaas could leave them presents. Sure enough, small toys and candy were left for them when they awoke in the morning. After the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther wanted to do away with the stories of Catholic saints, so he said that these presents were actually coming from the baby Jesus or Christkindl. People were confused, of course, because they knew that the real gift giver was the jolly old St. Nick delivering the presents to these children. So Christkindl was misunderstood to be Kris Kringle, and the nickname stuck. After the Revolutionary War, there was a movement to reject many of the English ways and start new traditions that were uniquely American. An author by the name of Washington Irving had already made a name for himself by writing and publishing American folktales that had been told by word of mouth, like Rip Van Winkle and the spooky legend of Sleepy Hollow. This became a Halloween classic. So when he heard about the Dutch story of Sinterklaas, he decided to officially give him the properly American-sounding name Santa Claus. This is how St. Nick officially became a part of the American Christmas tradition. Over the next few hundred years, the public would learn more about Santa Claus than they ever had known before. In 18...
Because I remember the Victorian era is when they, when trade with the early Prussian Empire and the Bavarian states with England started to come through under the reign of Queen Victoria, that there was that's when the tradition of the Yule tree began to come over, and there was more incentive of the Christmas that we know about today. I'm so mixed because I like the Christ one, but also it just sounds like Santa denier propaganda. It always is.
1909, Irving wrote in his book Knickerbocker's History.
Some people just can't handle the. You know, I don't really have much to say. Like, I want to make Santa denier meme jokes here, but like equally too. I mean, that's basically decanonizing tradition through cultural tradition. I get it. It was Lutheran reform of the time, but it's decanonizing centuries-old traditions of a man and his legacy of charitable goodwill to mankind. And to try and homogenize it, or to reform it to your set belief is going to take time. It is hard, but Kris Kringle never really stuck, now did it? I get it was trying to say that this is, the birth of baby Jesus giving this to you, but no, it definitely seems to be something more along the lines of that. I mean, Kris Kringle never really sticks, does it? It just never seems to. It makes a good interstice, a little stepping stone for the story, but Kris Kringle never really stuck around, as we know.
Of New York about a surprising Santa sighting in Central Park. It read, "The good St. Nicholas came riding over the tops of the trees in that self-same wagon wherein he brings his yearly presents to children." He went on to explain that Santa took a break to smoke his pipe of tobacco before getting back in his wagon and flying away. Fortunately, as you might imagine, modern Santa has given up smoking, but he has replaced it with a serious cookie addiction, so it's not exactly kind on his ever-expanding waistline.
Well, even the night before Christmas, even that story, he still smoked on a corncob pipe. Not a corncob pipe. He still had a pipe with him.
As the years went on, more and more writers would elaborate with additional details about Santa Claus. In December of 1823, a writer named Clement Clark Moore was walking through the snow on his way home. Under his arm, he had a Christmas turkey for his family, and looking around at the beautiful scene, he was suddenly inspired to write a poem titled A Visit from St. Nicholas. But you probably know that
there
it
is.
The night before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in the hopes that St. Nicholas would soon be there. This became an incredibly popular poem. It so perfectly captured the Christmas spirit that in just a few years, nearly every American would know it by heart. Instead of thinking of his
Mousely Graham, I asked Santa Claus for Mousely underneath my tree. I will hope to be most cheesed in the morning.
Time living in Turkey as a 4th century saint, people now imagine Santa Claus to be a chubby, jolly old man who climbed through the chimney to place presents in stockings and leave them wrapped up under the Christmas tree. So St. Nick had always been a sailor and an avid traveller throughout his lifetime. Right. Navigating the open sea is no easy task.
No, actually, it's quite interesting how much all this was compounded together throughout centuries. It really is, actually, because the story beats of the original St. Nicholas, the canonized St. Nicholas, of his travels and his aspirations to see the globe. So, how would you typically travel? Well, if not on boat, on land, you're going by cart, sleigh. It's the winter time, it's the snow time. It's coming to the Yuletide tradition of winter, snow, rebirth, reborn. You don't typically ride wagons. It's not the most efficient way at that time being, so a sleigh would do. It's a magic sleigh. He's got to be there every all the time, so he's got to fly. At this point, humans could not fly by any form of, well, outside of hot air balloons. that was only lift. There was no real forward trajectory motion in the sense of what he would need, so it'd be considered damn near impossible, if not, and once again, going down, not to magic, but to divine providence, in terms of St. Nick. And then you get this, now that he's, his story is charitable goodwill in nature, giving, how it came, the story of him throwing gold into the window, on the stocking. It's just incredible how just it evolved through centuries.
Especially before the benefits of GPS, but he wanted to get around on land at a much faster pace. In 1821, an anonymous author wrote and illustrated a story called Old Santa Claus with Much Delight. For the first time, the public learned that Santa had upgraded his ride from a rickety old wagon and a boat to a proper sled pulled by a single reindeer. In 1889, poet Catherine Lee Bates introduced the world to Mrs. Claus, and we got to know a little bit more about St. Nick's personal life.
Oh no, not Mrs. Claus.
Know exactly when they got married, but this couple have what is probably the longest lasting marriage in history. We also don't know if they ever had any children together. As the years went on, the public learned more about Santa's progress in his mission to bring joy to the world. We learned that he moved his new secret hideout to the North Pole, and he hired a team of elves to run his workshop. We were introduced to his extended fleet of 8 magic.
Because that's the funny thing too. I think the reason why they also did the pole is because the polar exploration for a hotbed, this Claus created by a woman. Oh no! Ew, get her out of here. She stinks. She's a woman. How dare you? How dare you? Is that sacrilege on St. Nick himself? Because he stayed unmarried. He became a monk. So isn't that sacrilege on him? This Claus is a fanfiction woman who wants to bang Santa. No! Jesus Christ. What is it with you American women and your self-inserts? But, the North Pole, I mean, thinking about this way too, is that at the time being, before space travel, before any craze around space travel or space exploration or submersible exploration, the big focus was to get to the poles, because it was the only unconquered frontier in the world left to be discovered, or to be fully mapped out and discovered in full. And while the North would be the first one to be conquered, actually was the South or the North that was the first to be conquered? No, it was the North to be conquered first. It wouldn't be until like the mid 20th century that would happen, or early to mid first quarter of the 20th century for that to happen. So in that regard, it was still like frontier. That does make a good hideout for Santa, I guess, because no one at that time was able to make up to the North Pole.
Reindeer, and in 1939 he added the newest member of the team, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. In 1891, even the President of the United States was promoting Santa Claus. Benjamin Harrison told the press, "We shall have an old-fashioned Christmas tree for the grandchildren upstairs, and I shall be their Santa Claus myself. Let me hope that my example will be followed by every family in the land." The very first video footage ever captured of Santa.
But that JCPenney Thanksgiving parade where this year had Mrs. Claus as an Asian woman, I agree, Santa. So you're saying is Santa is a rice queen, and all the good Hyperborean men deserve their beautiful Asian wives. I like the way you think, my man. I like the way you think.
It was in 1898 by a filmmaker named G.A. Smith.
I want a home in Agartha, and I will have my deliciously thick hag Gyaru wife, tomboy, car enthusiast wife.
See him leaving presents for sleeping children on Christmas Eve. Of course, as time went on and modern technology improved, more and more people were capturing footage of Santa Claus. It was finally time for him to come out of hiding and make his first public appearances. Moving into the 20th century, Santa Claus was always hip to the modern times.
Right.
During the Industrial Revolution, he was able to improve his operations with his elf employees.
President Harrison was Santa? Well, he because both yellow fever and because Asian women know their sweatshops. Also, President Harrison was saying, well, he was saying is, keeping in the spirit of tradition, he will act as the Santa upstairs to everyone else. So, kind of acting like as like the old man who dressed up as Santa. Yeah, just keep a little homely tradition going, right?
In his workshop at the North Pole, Santa became more like the CEO of his toy empire, making sure the operation ran as smoothly as possible. Now that he wasn't running his workshop alone, he was finally
my
able...
grandfather today celebrated his 24th Christmas. Now, I couldn't go see him because I am still coming off a fever, and I don't want to get him sick because he's not in a good physical state right now. But my father decided to gift him stuff that he mentioned, and my grandmother as well, they're still married to this day after 75 plus years, would gift what they always wanted. Oh, sorry, it's actually over 70 years. My mistake. Over 70 years they've been married. Not 75 yet, but they wanted to give him what he always wanted as a boy, because when he was a boy in the Soviet Union, as a German Mennonite out there in the Ukraine, his happiest memories were because he grew up in poverty, like starvation, hunger, famine. All he wanted for Christmas was to have like a little thing in a sock and an orange, because that was a treat, a luxury. Actually, it was a chocolate is what he wanted. So my dad basically recreated this and a pocket knife, because his fondest memory, controversially to some people, but this is just me telling an anecdotal story. When the Germans came, they found this Mennonite village, which he lived in, and they were encountered by the Wehrmacht. Thankfully not any SS officers or everything, but they were Mennonites, so German descent, and they were. This goes back to Tsarist Russia. And they were there. My family was there for like 300 years, I believe. And he was gifted from one of the Wehrmacht soldiers a issued pocket knife that they were given, and then the Wehrmacht soldiers basically want to give the village children their own Christmas presents, because they're not gonna get anything, right? So they gave them a pocket knife, and of course he lost it over time, but that was still one of his fondest memories. Like, as a boy, when you have nothing, when you basically had to pry bread from a dead man's hand before the war, even, right? Yeah. So we gave him some stuff that made him feel happy. My grandmother, who lived down the prairies, but was from a German descent family, she always wanted, her fondest memory was she was given a penny in a little green coin purse with an orange. That was her fondest Christmas memory. She never got the dolly she wanted when she was a little girl, but that's the most they could have during the Great Depression. So my dad, in tradition, gave her an orange little coin purse with a $2 coin to adjust for inflation, and a little doll, just as a reminder of you finally forgot for Christmas. Santa finally remembered you for Christmas. It's a little anecdotal, a little personal, but I just figured it's one of those things I could share while they're still alive, because I really hope to see them when I get better, so I can actually go visit them and wish them a proper Merry Christmas. Anyway, back to the story.
Make the time to begin making public appearances. In 1924, he decided to be a part of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in New York City. He received such a warm welcome from his adoring fans that he decided to reappear every single year ever since. So long as the organizers meet the demand on his rider to provide him a tall glass of milk and some warm chocolate chip cookies.
Well, some might think it's cute, H250V, but I'll probably cut that out if I do make a clip out of this video, because in this part too, because, well, you can't talk about the Wehrmacht in any good light, right? He had some funny stories from those soldiers. Like, remember, these were like young German soldiers, right? When they told him story, it was like the things he remembers from his boyhood, from the soldiers told him. They had some funny sayings. He learned his first curse words from these soldiers, too. They told him, they patted the machine gun on their truck, and they said, when the Russians hear us coming, they run from us like they got a fire lit underneath their ass. That's the first time you ever heard someone swore. It was when he saw a Wehrmacht soldier pat a machine gun and said, "When we were fighting these other Russians, they run like there's a fire lit underneath their ass."
The 1980s brought the boom of the shopping mall in the United States, and this began the tradition of Santa Claus taking personal requests from boys and girls. There is even a massive party called SantaCon held every year in New York City, which isn't even a real convention, it's just...
Oh yeah, these guys. So I forget this one guy I follow on Twitter, but he went to SantaCon and he was calling ice on the fake on all the illegal immigrants there. And he was then getting drunk and asking questions for interviews.
An excuse to dress as St. Nick and party in the streets. There is also the Liverpool Santa Dash and so many other events all around the world that are thrown in his honour. Moving into the 21st century, modern technology has helped us truly break down the science of just how Santa manages to make his journey. You can track St. Nick's progress on Google Maps' Santa Tracker.
Oh, my science miss. I hope my science tree will bring St. Fauci down my chimney, and he'll give me my vaccine booster.
And in 2016, The Mirror did an intensive study of the statistics of Santa's magical journey on Christmas Eve. They discovered that in order for him to deliver presents to every single child in the world on a single night, he would need to travel at speeds of 1,280 miles per second. Even though the world loves Santa Claus, that doesn't mean his legacy has been free from controversy. Indeed, he is often blamed for being at the root of making the holiday season about material things rather than having young people remember the true meaning of Christmas. Commercialism is a very real thing, of course, and there is no denying that Santa Claus has helped sell billions of dollars in products every holiday season, from Coca-Cola to Barbie dolls. But in a world where religion and politics divide so many people, there are very few things that Americans agree on, quite like the tradition of Santa Claus. Every December the 24th, children go to bed and they wake up at the crack of dawn, hoping they will find presents underneath their Christmas tree. For many, it's one of the very few memories we all share of having faith in something, and the experience of childhood wonder and the belief in magic. But sometimes Santa Claus can't do everything by himself, and he needs to recruit help in unexpected ways. Just one example of this was in 2011. A young couple named Jim and Dylan moved into their new apartment on West 22nd Street in New York City. Then they started to get letters in their mailbox addressed to Santa Claus. They thought it was a joke, of course, and they went to the post office to see if there was a forwarding address for the previous tenant. They were told that yes, there was, but it was simply put as the North Pole. At first, they didn't know what to do with these letters, and they had no idea how these random children got their address. They even thoroughly searched for why on Google. Eventually, they decided that they could not ignore these letters. Many of them were heartbreaking letters that came from underprivileged children. Dylan and Jim began to pass out letters to their friends and co-workers who all shared in the responsibility of buying presents for these kids. Soon enough, word spread on Facebook, and they were able to get hundreds of letters fulfilled by kind-hearted volunteers. They now run a charity called Miracle on 22nd Street, where anyone can volunteer to help out with the letters to Santa. If you're still unconvinced in the...
Another story I remember as a kid is my grandparents had friends who lived in Florida, and I forget what they did. They've long since passed away, the couple. But the husband, I forget what he did, but he in his retirement, he decided out of goodwill and charity to be a Santa Claus to people and be one. And then he looked the part too. He had an all natural white beard and hair. He looked like Chris Kringle. He looked like the actual very close to the way the old German folklore of Saint Nicholas, how they drew him. He looked very close to that, and he would wear the red suit and everything. And he could really put on the act. He even had a thick German accent too, but he really could put on the act. And he would go around to underprivileged places and homes and do the role. And he even, when we visited for 1 year, we just went down to Florida 1 year. I got to meet him, and he was, of course, I was a little kid, so I believe it was actually Santa. But yeah, part of me, I'm getting older, and right now, yes, I'm too young to be, not really too young, but I don't have a wife, I don't have a kid. That whole chuddy buddy lifestyle, but part of me still wants to do something for Christmas. You know, keep that little spirit alive, I guess. Not to get too emotional, but you know, I'm getting older. I'm feeling that more that not really a morose indifference to the holidays, but I'm kind of that pining of like I want to keep this tradition alive, and whether for my own or for others, just to try and make it more original, more of what it should be. While also keeping the childhood imagination of you know, Santa Claus alive, but less of the what we know it is. Yeah. Anyways.
The existence of Santa Claus, there are few words that can better express the truth than those of Francis Purcell's Church. In 1897, an 8-year-old girl named Virginia Hanlon wrote to the New York Sun saying that her friends in school told her that Santa Claus was not real. She asked the church to tell her the truth, and they published this reply. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. He exists as sure as generosity and devotion exists, and you know they abound and give to your life its highest beauty and joy. Alas, how dreary the world would be without a Santa Claus. And just
I still remember, unfortunately I did go to a liberal elementary school when I was a kid, and a group of there was a couple of Muslim kids, of course, and their parents encouraged them, and we were like grade 1, grade 2, to just run around and just tell us Santa doesn't exist. Like, you know, you cuss us out, basically cuss. They could get away with it. They could get away with fucking murder in that school too. I mean, I got CTE from my head being kicked in to prove that, but those motherfuckers could basically get away with anything, and they would just run around tell. Like, you know, oh, you know, Santa's not real, like, and it's just like, who the fuck, like, yeah, they're fucking kids, but, like, the adults are the ones that push onto it. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you, right? And I still remember, like, you know, when their kids got, you know, like, in trouble for the cussing out part, we're like, well, they start talking to, or, like, slight talking to, and then their parents go coming and go, racist, Islamophobia, racist. The Dominican woman who was part of, like, the school's, like, who was one of the few in the school, came up to them, right, Dominican, and fucking, no, she was Dominican Republic, yeah, she came in and, like, a fire and fury on them. It was like, you get your little bastards in line right now, because they got a lot of parents that are gonna have to explain some things to their kids, like little kindergartners, tonight. And where the fuck did your kids learn to speak like that? Like, to have language like that at such a young age?
Here at Biographics, we want to say that Santa Claus does exist as long as he's in our hearts. And with that, very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
But yeah, no, very more, I guess maybe kind of personal stories, but like, yeah, no, it was a good stream. I had a good time tonight. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. I'll probably be streaming maybe later on today, probably towards the evening again, for Boxing Day, and I'll have to call Boxing Day off because I got work Saturday. But yeah, no, I want to say thanks for everyone for coming. I really appreciate it, and you guys all have a Merry Christmas. Yeah, I guess I'll see you around. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. They don't understand the things I want for Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. They don't understand the things I want for Christmas. All my brothers jolly, brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. All my brothers jolly, brother, Merry Christmas. She wanna sing to Japan, I put the bow in the bands. Brother, Merry Christmas. She done for the kids, she got the draw in her hands. Brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. All my brothers jolly, brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. All my brothers jolly, brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. Brother, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Dun, dun, dun. God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
In Bethlehem in Israel, this blessed babe was born, laid within a manger upon this blessed morn. The witch's mother Mary did nothing taking scorn. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Fear not, them said the angel, and nothing you will find. This day is born a Savior of a pure virgin bride, to free all those who trust in him from Satan's power and might. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.